CEO of Medbury Medical Services. Not be small thing. Please put your hands together. Also in the house this morning, we have the head of People and Culture, Leshigo Microfinance Bank, if I'm correct, in the person of Emmanuel Michael. Please can we put our hands together? Thank you so much, sir, for coming. And also here today, we have also we're expecting Faith Akintunde. She's here. So I was wondering. I'm so sorry, ma. So she's the senior HR business partner at UAC Foods. So if you want anything. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much for coming. Are you excited? I had only one person. So I'd like to make welcome. Please join me as I bring before you the youth president who has done a lot of work getting all our guests and getting every one of us here today. Is Emmanuel Abegunde. Please put your hands together.
Praise the Lord. Praise Jesus. Wow. It's good to see everyone today. This is a dream come true. And I want to especially thank my seniors, my leaders, my mentors, all of them, Yemi Fashion, Dr. Itsuno, Benga Totoi, Hiem, Are, and Auntie Faith. Thank you so much for coming. We want to thank the leadership of the church for giving us this opportunity to host this life-changing event. This is the third of its kind in this church, but this has been the biggest. And as the Bible says, that the path of the just is like a shining light that shines more and more unto the perfect day. We thank God that we are shining brighter. 2 years ago, Mr. Victor was here, and it was explosive. And that gave birth to what we are doing here today. Let me also say that before now, it's a department in the church that used to organize this conference. But this time around, it is the youth taking it upon themselves to put this together. So we thank God for that. As we go deep into this, I don't want us to focus our attention alone on the job fair. Because the information you are going to get from these gems is actually going to help you at the fair. But much more importantly, it will help you in your career life. And that is what we are looking forward to. Let me say to someone today that God is actually interested in your career. When God created the heavens and the earth, He gave Adam a job. He gave him a job description. He gave him targets. So God is actually very keen on performance, not just your employer. So if your employers are asking for performance from you, they are doing what God would have done. God said, be fruitful, and multiply and subdue the earth. He said, replenish it. That is a target, right? That is God's expectation. And then he said, tend the garden. That is job description, right? I don't know if I'm communicating to someone today. So God gave him a job description. It gave him performance expectations. And then as generations continue to go by, God gave them jobs. And when we look at the book of Exodus, when they were going to design, what the Levites are going to be using in terms of, the cassock, the ark, and everything, God recognized that there are talent in some people, and it is no longer God giving them a job. God started giving people careers. Praise God. So it is now the fact that, okay, you have this skill, you have this talent in you, and this is your line of career. And when we see the scriptures and we continue to read on, we'll see how that God did not even give some people just careers. Okay, he gave them multi-dimensional facets to their lives. So you could be a prophet and at the same time you are a farmer and at the same time you are a priest. You know, you have different things that you do. In other words, what I'm saying to us is that God is interested in your career. Career is not just one of those things in our life. It is actually very key. Jesus saying in the book of John, he said, "My Father worketh, hitherto I work." So you have to work. You have to gain your pay. You have to earn your pay. And you have to also what? You have to grow. You have to grow. It is very, very important. So we have put this conference together to help you grow. We have put this conference together to help you get the information for your next level. And I believe that you will get it here today in Jesus' name. So please sit back, relax, be flexible, be open to what God will do. This is a church. We magnify God above everything. So as much as this is a conference, as much as this is a business setup, we recognize the omnipresence of God. We recognize the power of God, and we trust God for what He will do in your life. So if you are one of those Nigerians that disobeyed the federal government authority not to use Twitter and you have VPN on your phone, please tweet it that we are having a career fair in Maranatha today. Hashtag what now? I can't remember. Maybe as the program goes on, we'll say it. Okay, tweet it, put it on Instagram, do selfie with your neighbors, put it there. Let the world know that something is happening today, because this is going to be a turning point in the lives of very many people in Jesus' name. Just as I'm talking, my very good friend and sister walked in, the head of human resources at Knight Frank, in person of Mrs. Tony Lasaki. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming around. She's been a friend. Faith Akintunde actually linked us together. Thank you. And wow. 2 days ago, Yemi Fashion called me and said he most likely will not be able to make it because he has some workplace responsibilities. And I mean, we are not the ones paying him his salary. So, Baba Gas, you understand. And then he said Benga Totoyi should come and represent him. And I mean, I know GT. GT will deliver. If you wake him up 3 o'clock a.m., he will give you the scalable products that... Okay, so, and for us to have GT, like GT has programs already for today, and just 48 hours to our program, GT canceled some of his programs. Please give him a round of applause. And for me, that is an honor. He sees that he needs to invest in you, and that is why he canceled other things that will actually fetch him money, because he has a 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. training today. I mean, for you to have GT talking from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., it must be worth some check. And he canceled that to come and do something that will just give him table water and chivita. That is huge. And then somehow, as God will have it, he wanted Yemi Fashion to be here, and his workplace assignment was shifted, and then he came in by surprise. Anyway, Yemi has said that GT will still do the keynote speech on his behalf, but he will join the panelist session. I'm very, very happy to have all of them here. Thank you, Sars and Mars. God bless you for coming. And I want to appreciate every one of you for coming as well. Please give yourself a round of applause. As I invite the as I invite the anchor to come and take over, please and please have an expectation of God today. And I pray that God will surpass your expectation. God bless you.
Amen. I like the fact that I can say amen joyously. Like when I go for other events and I'm being careful, don't say hallelujah, don't say amen. You know. So next, we're taking it slow and steady. Next, on the agenda for this morning, we're going to be having the keynote address by Benga. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you please put our hands together for her? Okay. First off, thanks to God, thanks to COVID that has made us miss ourselves for so long. So when we see ourselves physically after such a long while, we get an idea of what we've missed for some time. So it's a privilege to see us all here. We can please appreciate ourselves for being here. We're alive and healthy. YF, thank you as well for the vote of confidence. It's not something I take lightly, okay? Because of our time and the design of the program, I will just really try to create a contest that I believe that all my colleagues here, once we move into the panel, will be able to now speak specifically to some concerns that we might have. And if I can, perhaps we can document some of our questions ahead of time, and the panelists can, have some time to go through, such that they can be, because the challenge from experience is that you hear a question and there's so many angles you want to address it from, but if we have some time, perhaps it might help to be able to provide real specific answers to some of the challenges that we have. So in the brief that I got, we're trying to address, so I understand in the hall today are people between, say, 20 to as high as 50, 55, challenges around getting jobs, keeping jobs, and perhaps, handling transition between one job or the other. Of course, there's the all-interesting jack-buying question. And all of a sudden, people are beginning to realize that, like say, space don't finish for Canada. So what are the other options that are there? And like we've always said, if the why is very clear, the how and the what would then become somewhat easier. And so that was a reason why Canada came up, in the conversation. And there will be many others like that that we will need to consider. So we will try and dance around all of that. Interestingly enough, at least I know I can give him that credit, when HR folks started making a lot of noise and conversations around the future of work, Yemi Fashion came on the scene and said, you know what, perhaps we can begin to call it the now of work, because some of the things that we were talking about and explaining around the changing dynamics of the world of work was right in our faces. And so I will speak around that context and just lay some foundation. My point really is that as we experience the amazing transformation happening in the workplace, there is the need for us to begin to redefine the competencies and the capabilities required to thrive in the workplace. That is, I believe, is what brings it all together. And that's what I'll try to do in about 15, 20 minutes. Whatever it is, future of work or now of work, it comes down to one thing, that the skills and requirements that we need to get into the workplace to thrive and perform in the workplace and grow are no longer the same. And the moment we understand that, it's easier for us to then make the adjustments that we need to make. So my first question to us all here is, will you wait for the future to happen, or you will take a hand in shaping it? It becomes more interesting for you to realize that that future change is happening even if you are not actively involved. It's happening. Last night after work, I go home, I was in the salon, and I just thought, let me play on Instagram a bit. So I put up a post I called the Recruiter's Rant. And I tweaked some parts of the story, but let me just give you the full context. with another cap that I wear, I executed a graduate recruitment project for a client in the financial service space about 2 months ago. A particular guy had made it to the final shortlist of 50. Great guy, will have made it, but the client chose 15 people. And as at that time, the brief was they will engage 10. But when I saw the list and the profile of people, I told the HR director, honestly, make room for the 15. I don't see how you will let go of 5 out of these guys. You will struggle. Prior that time, though, I also got insight into the number of roles open in the organization. And what we had said was that you need to go back and start building your pipeline, because for your space, this challenge will continue for a long time. So you need to be deliberate, perhaps over a 3-cycle period, to bring in fresh graduates and accelerate their growth through the system. I said, oh, no, that's what we want. That's no problem. A month later, in my day job, we were recruiting for some roles in the finance group. And then I was on LinkedIn, myself and this guy started a conversation, which honestly we should all be doing online. Don't just come straight, make a request, try establish a relationship, try open a line of communication. It almost always helps. 2 weeks later, went through our final process, we made him an offer. Challenge was, its take-home pay was just about 20,000 naira short of what his friends will be collecting in the other organization. And I saw the look on his face the day we gave him the offer. And I said, okay, you know what, let's just spend 30 minutes and just talk. Run me through your career, what have you done and all of that. And I opened up to him to say, by the way, those guys are graduate trainees. They're in another 1-year program before they become full-time staff. Big name, big organization, but you are one step ahead of them. You're also then writing your ACCA exams and, and the likes. I will advise, come into a place like this and give it 2 years. And these are the things you should do based on the context you've given to me. And oh, fantastic, thank you. Or in fact, this is where I'm going to work. And then right there and then he had told me, by the way, I'm going to write exams this coming week. I would like to take some time off, not a problem. He resumed at work last week, Monday. By Wednesday, came, said, you know what, can I take Friday off as well? I really want to be a part of some revision. Went back to the line manager, no, I don't want us to set precedents. No, I said, see, Oga, it takes me a while to attract this talent. If this guy needs 1 day off, give him 1 day off. You won't die, right? And they gave him 1 day off. 4 o'clock, one of my associates in the team came to me and said, oh, that your guy in finance needs to speak with you. What's the problem? Showed me a WhatsApp conversation. Point is, another organization. So by the time he was doing our own first level interview, he was doing second level interview with another organization in another sector, technology. And as of yesterday morning, while he was off reading, they sent him an offer. And the offer will be about 70% higher than what we gave him. And the guy was struggling on the phone to tell me he has to go. Sir, I didn't like. I said, guy, I understand. You have to go. That's a different sector. I am not in competition with them. I can't match their pay. You are more attracted to what they are offering you. I listened to the job profile. Everything they wanted to do there is a lot more engaging than what we are going to give him. By the way, if in his mind he failed the first interview and they kept him in the pool, so he had given up. But apparently what they did was to keep him in the pool for a role that they thought was well suited for his career. So someone is going to work with me for 2 weeks, but another couple of days is gone to join another organization. That's the reality of the market that we are in. And by the way, that's to let some of us realize that there are jobs out there. It is a lie from some part of hell that Nigerian graduates are not employable or that there are no opportunities for you in the marketplace, right? So the future is changing, but what is driving that change? I always like to give this narrative. Can I have 4 or 5 people just run to the front, please? 4 or 5 people quickly. Thank you. 1, 5. Let's make it 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So please just face the hall. You can stand here. The tallest guy can stand. Yeah, no. You're okay there. Okay. So this is what is happening. I will take her as the world, the entire globe, regardless of the continent. I'll take him as the continent of Africa. I'll take her as, let's say, financial service industry, just one market that we operate in. He is, well, the closest branch is GTCO, so we'll take him as GT Bank within a financial service sector, right? And I'll take him as the branch manager Okay? So what is happening is there's a massive shift in the world. If you put governments together, if you put the entire world, the system of trade in the entire world together, there's a lot going on there in the world. Governments around the world are grappling with the fast pace of change. And what happened was when the pandemic hit, it accelerated that dimension to the challenges and the changes that governments around the world are dealing with. What that meant was that, what did I say it was? Africa. What that meant was that as the developed parts of the world, say Europe for instance, found it easier to say, because of the development in medicine, to respond to the challenge given by COVID, it sort of moved them further down the line when it comes about innovation, technology, and development. So Africa will have some sort of secondary challenges dealing with such changes that they are having to do with. So for instance, it was a lot easier for them to respond to innovation around medicine that was required by the pandemic because they have installed capacity in terms of infrastructure. Africa is struggling with that, right? But what typically happens is, like I say, if it's happening in the White House, it will soon get to the White House in Yaba, if you know what I'm trying to say. Whatever is happening in the world, you can't on your job think you are shielded from that reality. You can't sit on your job and be buried in what you're doing, no matter how demanding it is, and not pay attention to what is happening in the world. Because what will eventually happen is that whatever is happening there, good, bad, challenging, will influence the continent in which you and I are operating. For instance, if you're in the development space here, you do NGOs and the likes, the two biggest areas that will inform development and funding in Africa going forward, at least for another 5 years, will be medicine and education. Why? Going back to what happened in the world through the pandemic, the two biggest areas challenged by Africa will be where? Medicine and education. By the time Nigerian universities were like, okay, COVID, blah, 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 shut down, all of a sudden, while universities around the world could switch online, we didn't have online infrastructure to switch to. Right? So that's Africa. But you see, if you leave Africa and come to the industry in which you operate, you have to then look at what's happening in your industry in the light of what is happening in Africa. For instance, 2 years ago or so, all presidents in Africa went somewhere and signed something, right? What we saw was just a photo op in the papers, borrowing money from China. But beneath that is the One Africa Free Trade Zone, where Africa is deliberately being made one market. And I've always been screaming, Africa is not a continent, it's a country. If you think I'm lying, look at our combined GDP. It's less than that of Apple. One company in America, one company, look at the entire GDP. Look at the combined value of the exchanges in Africa. Compare that to the value of the London Stock Exchange. If you look at it that way, you will see that Africa is a country, not a continent. Just two languages, French, English. So the One Africa Free Trade Zone, for instance, is driving mobility of talent within Africa. And in our very eyes, BUA, Dangote, GT Bank, UBA, and the likes started going into other African countries to lead the trade. Kenya, today we are dropped, well, all the telcos now have license to operate mobile money. Kenya led the way many years ago. So what is going to happen is, if you take some aspect of Africa, you can literally see the direction that the continent is going. What that means is, these changes will drive what is happening in your market. So any banker right now, you don't need a prophet to tell you what is going to happen to banking in Nigeria. Just go to Kenya and look at what has happened to mobile money. Because that is going to come to the industry in which you're operating. And if you stay in Nigeria, financial service sector, okay, banking is perhaps the most developed in that sector. Pay attention to other elements in that sector and you will soon see what is coming to affect your job. If 5 years or so, I was in a hall like this at Muson Center, and I have never forgotten that moment. I had an ED in my former place of work at Wema Bank. I had colleagues in the hall. I had just come back from some conference to CIBD then, and this whole conversation around the future of work and even how it affects people with disability was really fresh on my mind. And I just asked a question in the moment. If the bank where you work becomes an app, what happens to your banking career? And I meant it, because right in the hall were former friends from Wema Bank. I knew when Wema Bank started Alert as a fully digital banking platform. 4 years on, combined deposit mobilization through the app had gone past combined deposit mobilization in all the branches of the bank. So, look at the development in your sector and look at what is driving that change, because it will soon affect the company where you work. And as long as your company needs to respond to these changing dynamics, they will be changing the expectations from your job. Does that make sense? Please, let's clap for them as they go back. That is the summary, because if you put it all together, what is driving this change is the changing nature of work, the worker, and the workplace. The workplace is changing because the skills required to do the products and services that customers are requesting from them is changing. So the jobs that allow the organization to produce those goods and services are no longer the same. So to the employee, you've got to look at your job again in light of the expectation of the business and make the required adjustments. Does that make sense? Now, what is driving? There are some forces influencing these changes. One big one is technology. And please, I'm not about to tell everyone to go become developers, because if you look at technology as a whole, there are many dimensions to it. But honestly, technology is a way of life. Technology is what can you introduce to an existing process and make it easier? How can we get this thing done faster? For me, at the core of technology, that's what it is, right? But technology is changing it. Look at entertainment, for instance. We used to get home at some time and then have access to TV and and the likes. But technology came at some point and understood that there was a growing number of customers who wanted access and options when it comes to entertainment. That led to a time when satellite TV stations came. What did they do? Provided options, provided ease of access. But at some point, there was a generation that felt, you know what, I want more. The changing dynamics or the narratives as far as customer behavior and expectations were concerned was being influenced by technology. That's one. But what happened that was really big a couple of years ago was that whilst technology used to be support to the business, at some point technology became the business. So you take a typical bank a couple of years ago. Some of us here can remember FlexCube and remember what you call banking software. So you are in a bank, you are in an organization that buys a technology solution to provide goods and services. What has happened is, so you call a bank an organization using technology to sell banking products and services, right? Where we are now is a bank is a tech company selling banking products and services. The change is the difference is so tiny you can miss it. It's a bank now is a proper technology company just selling banking products and services. Netflix is a tech company selling entertainment services. So technology is driving that huge. So whatever you do, HR, finance, sales, marketing, what's the influence of technology in that area, on that path? Governments. Please, beneath the rush to Canada is some governments sitting down and saying, look at our entire demographics. We need to have more people in the working class to drive the wheels of the economy, or else 10, 20 years down the line, we will have high levels of people in the aging part of the population, but we can't feed them. They saw that their pension system was not good enough. They saw all that and then made some tweaks to drive that. And there are other governments around the world driving that. So all of a sudden, in this whole world of work, the policies of government is becoming a real drive. I'm in HR, but I'm competing, for instance, with the government in the UK. who is saying, okay, when Brexit happened, we lost a lot of experienced professionals to other parts of Europe, and we still have an economy to run. I need to attract many people back into the country. That's what I'm dealing with. Not necessarily the pound, not necessarily the falling value of Naira. That's what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with another part of Italy that is saying, I need people, so I will even pay you to come to my country. And we're going to see more of that. And I just gave us an example of what is happening in Africa. And please, let's go pay attention to that. Ghana, Kenya, and other parts of Africa, Senegal, they are all making some major moves to make their countries or specific industries major attractions to them. Rapid urbanization, economic power shift. You see, this demographic shift is even hitting us in the church. All of a sudden, churches and institutions of faith are having to make some adjustments to attract and engage the young population, and at the same time deal with the demand of the aging population in the same church. And so look around, the average church or major denomination now has a separate church expression, because all of a sudden we can't dance to the same praise and worship. Pastor, your people are talking to you. Okay? And we are going to see more and more and more in that direction. What are other trends further down the line that we should watch out for? I've talked about the One Africa Free Trade Zone. And at this point, I want to appeal to parents. Please, make it be a bit more open if your kids come to you and say they want to go live in other parts of Africa. Be a bit more open. Because let's say the truth, Nigeria does not have all the jobs that we all need. So this is going to continue for a while. The US election was also major because it changed. It was a major, in my opinion, major event in the world that changed the narration between how government relates to its citizens. Some walls came down with everything that happened around the last 2 US elections, and we are seeing that go on in other parts of the world. So governments are rethinking relationship with their citizens. And a year ago or so, we saw an example of that even in our own country. By the way, to corporate Nigeria, my message is simple. If Nigerians took to the streets to take on the government, your employees will soon come to your office to take you on. If your policies are not clear, if you are not communicating your value, you are not, all these things where you work in HR and all the policies, no, it's for you. No, they will soon come to demand. Industry competition amongst Nigerian firms. Look around you. In specific industries, the competition is getting tougher and tougher, and we're going to see that continue for a long time. And so what we are seeing is there are new job roles coming out. We have a lot more emphasis on diversity and inclusion. All of a sudden, there is a bit more focus to encourage women to come into the workplace. But please, be a bit more open and strong about your request, even if you're a woman. It's beyond gender, the conversation around value and competence. There are new job roles coming, and even existing job roles are being tweaked to accommodate the demands of the business. And this is where I like to wrap it up, just to really, really narrow it down. So if the business is responding to changing demands in the workplace, the jobs that make up a typical organization is also changing in nature. For a long time, I would only teach this from a competence standpoint, and the average HR person will tell you, what is competence? You look at, knowledge, skill, and attributes, right? And at some point, we added experience. But I've somewhat tilted towards the word capabilities because I think it's slightly more different, and I'll tell you why it is different. So when we are just thinking, so a typical job right now will require you to have competencies. So whatever career path you're trying to build for yourself, what you should focus on is what are the competencies required to succeed in this role. I want to be a finance person. What knowledge, skill, and attributes do I need to put together? And let me just break it down a bit. So a finance person needs to know some things. That's on the knowledge part. And that's why going to school is important. And for knowledge, there is academic qualification, there is professional qualification. So BSc accounting is different from ACCA and ICANN and the likes. Try to have the two, right? However, that's knowledge. That knowledge must be converted into skill, knowledge applied, right? So look for opportunities while in school or fresh out of school. And yes, even if you're not getting that dream job, take up internship and opportunities wherever you find them, particularly around your area of interest, to apply the knowledge that you have gotten. because it's a level above just having knowledge of the job, right? You've got to apply that. However, what we see in the workplace is that what you do over time with what you know shows in the way you behave. And that's why oftentimes when you come to interviews, we are asking and we are looking for opportunities where you have applied your knowledge or how that knowledge has changed in your behavior. And has changed your behavior and is helping, is showing how you relate with people and the likes. And perhaps a good time to tell us, that is why in HR we do social recruiting. And what that means is, if you say on your CV, for instance, hobbies, and we say reading, we would typically then ask you, what have you reading recently, and like I typically do, if you're really reading a book, you probably have posted a picture on Instagram or on Facebook or Meta, like they've been asking us to say, right? So don't just bring a CV. Let your daily behavior, your conduct online and offline, reflect who you are or where you are going, right? Now, this is the idea. The second box, when I talk about capabilities, is tools. So the challenge I'm increasingly seeing is, I'm a numbers person, I'm finance, but I've never interacted with Sage. I've never interacted with any other ERP. So it becomes a minus. So whilst you are a numbers person and you can conjure up models in your head when I talk to you, I then need to see your knowledge of Excel at the basic level. So don't just have competencies for the job, know the tools required for you to do your job. Oh, I'm a social media person, digital media and all that. I hear you, right? But when we leave the platforms and we are talking performance tracking and we are talking halos online and tracking, how can you track to hire an influencer to influence marketing and sale of a particular product? When that influencer makes a post on Instagram, I hope you know that there are tools that can track consumer behavior from that post to actual sale. So don't just know the job from a competence standpoint, know the required tools to set you apart in that. Then the third box is governance. And this is where I think we are having, perhaps you can speak to it. This whole, young people want freedom without boundaries. Old people in the workplace want boundaries without freedom. I'll take that again. Young people want, it is me, leave me alone. This is who I am. This is how I was born. This is my temperament. You know, that's how we do. And you're at an interview and you're shaking your head, you're doing your hair. If you want to be who you are, stay at home at a level. Come to the workplace, be yourself, but understand the governance around the workplace. To the other ones, yes, structure, stability, but please understand that we want a bit of freedom. We want to come to work and call you your name. We are not disrespectful. We just want to be free. Open door policy, even if it's not in your policy, let's walk in and out of your office. Oh, God, what are you doing in the office now? Why can't you, don't you work for the same company? Understand governance. Understand how to behave in meetings. You are not helping yourself if all virtual meetings you have attended, you have never asked a question. This conversation around, you are my employer, you don't have access to my personal life. It will tell you more. The lines are getting blurred. Yeah. I don't want to get into that law from Portugal. I don't want to get into it. And then the last part is processes. Don't just do the job, learn how to do it properly. And that's why you are seeing issues around founders of major tech startups are losing their jobs for lack of corporate governance. They are losing their jobs for not knowing how to talk to people. They are losing their jobs, businesses they started, all because they spoke to a lady wrongly or they spoke to a customer wrongly. All those things come together to define what we are now looking for in the workplace. I hope this has been helpful. My point is the workplace is changing because of the world we all live in. That is driving competition within the sectors where we operate in. Organizations that we are in and we work for will be changing, and your job is no longer the same. So we expect you to bring a lot more to the table. I hope this has helped. Thank you very much. I wouldn't step down without giving us don't do this to me. Without giving us the opportunity. There are a few job roles I'm trying to fill, and hey, there are young people here looking for jobs. If we go on alanandgrant.com, alanandgrant.com/job openings. You see quite a number of job openings there we are trying to fill, or faster on Instagram. Alan and Grant, at alanandgrant.ng. You see quite a number of job roles there. Thank you very much for the honor.
Can we put those hands together? Thank you so much, sir. I personally learned a lot. No wonder I used to make noise in meetings. At least let my boss know that I'm useful to the company. So thank God for social media, on Zoom, WebEx, Teams. When somebody says something, I just say, well done, team, thumbs up and all that. Things are changing. It's all encompassing. And I want you to look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, things are changing. I am aligning. I am positioning myself rightly. What about you? Are you ready for change? Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. So someone told me something very funny, and I don't know if we could just share it. A lot of us must have had very horrible or very funny interview experiences, right? You go for an interview, they ask you something and you're saying something else. Is Tosin here? Tosin wants to share. Someone is laughing, yeah? I remember, so let me introduce myself. My name is Free. Thank God I'm the MC. Sorry, sir. So my name is Ogale Odibo. I work with Pfizer. I actually transitioned from being a regulatory affairs admin to being the admin coordinator for Nigeria. And thank God to COVID. I got tired. I've been an admin for over 12 years. I just got tired of doing that same thing every day. And it took me a while to search, to ask questions from HR professionals and from people who I regarded as mentors, people who knew me. And then, while I asked God, I went deep down to tick what I really wanted that resonates with me. And so, thankfully, I'm transitioning into a digital marketing role. How am I doing that? Not like there's a role currently like that in Pfizer. In fact, Pfizer SSA, there's no role like that. But for every time they need to do something digital, Ogale is in front. Ogale is chairing and taking the lead. And my boss has been amazed. Unfortunately, he really can't say there should be that role. But it helps, to ensure that when they need to do something, even in AFME, all over Africa and Middle East, he would say Ogale can handle it. So push yourself, go all out, look for something new, something that you enjoy. Benga said something. What are your hobbies? I like to sing, but I like to not necessarily market things. I'm not sure I can come to you and tell you that I have hair for sale. I'm not sure I can do that. But I know that I can talk about it on the internet. I can put beautiful designs together. I can remind you every morning, every afternoon, joke about it, use all the current trending names and all that to push it. And so I have been nursing it and I'm celebrating it. So, well, that's enough of me. Is Tosin here? Tosin. Okay, Tosin, please, she wants to share a wonderful experience in a job interview. I just want one more person if you are bold enough. Who knows? They are great experiences, very great experiences. When you fall, it takes a lot to stand and then you shine.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Tosin. So I had a very, very funny interview experience. And, well, like she said when you fall, it's an avenue for you to rise again. So I went for this interview. I was working as a front desk before. So I desperately needed, I just want to switch or change role within the organization I work for, or get a job somewhere else. So I was desperately searching, seriously searching for a job. Then I went for this interview and I met with the HRs, very beautiful set of people. Oh my God. Because of this woman, I was aspiring to become an HR. But when I got there, it was a series of basbos for me. The woman was giving me here. When I accept it here, I will collect another one here. So I do not blame them, actually. And I'm not blaming myself because I am grateful to God because what she did to me that day pushed me. And since then, I just want to become better at everything I do. So during the interview, I was supposed to write an essay. And honestly, I got to realize that the essay is actually not tough. But just at that point, I didn't know what to write. And I was confidently writing rubbish. I knew I was writing rubbish.
It's village people.
I was confident. I was saying different things. I knew what I was saying wasn't it, but I needed to say something. And at that point, I didn't know what to say. So I was so bold and confident with everything I was saying. And after writing my essay, I submitted to her. Dark chocolate woman, very beautiful. And she read what I wrote, and she said, Oluwatosin Omoshuyi. The way she welcomed me, I thought I had written something with my brain, with sense. I never knew that she was coming up. Then she started. We asked you to write something, blah, 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 blah. So if I'm going to employ you in this organization, this is what you are going to write. And she was just giving it to me. I was shaking. I didn't want to show it that I was shaking, so I was smiling. Yes, ma. Thank you, ma. Yes, ma. And after the whole thing, she gave me, in fact, she said a lot of things to me. And after the whole thing, I just stood up, carried my file, and I said, thank you very much for the push, ma. When you hear from me later, I'm very sure you are going to hear something good. And you will know that I am not where I used to be. And I'm grateful to God I am not where I used to be. Because I have changed my role.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Thank you so much, Tosin, for sharing. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Tosin, for sharing. I hope you picked 1 or 2 points, right? So I'm going to go to the next item very quickly. Are you ready? It's the item 7 of the matter. What is soul food? Okay, so we have, let me just introduce our daddy. We have in our midst, please put your hands together for Pastor Segun Ogbonewo. I'm so sorry for the pronunciations. Daddy sits in the board of Triumph Limited and Coronation Registrar and Coronation Insurance. He was also one time an ED at Access Bank. Please let's put our hands together for him. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We love you, sir. So I'm going to be calling someone very special. She's going to be anchoring the next session. So I'm going to be handing over my role for a while. I'll come back to love you all. I want to welcome as well Bukola George. She's from Workforce Group. And as she comes up, I'll quickly take the profile, the detailed profile of our guests this morning. So multimedia, please, I will really need your help, if you can. Thank you so much. I actually have a special seat for you. You know, you are my elder in this role. So because you are the anchor, I chose not to give you a white seat. I chose to give you a black, majestic seat. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, beautiful. So you see the beautiful lady on the screen? Unfortunately, I have very excellent vision. So Bukola George is a seasoned HR professional with valuable years of experience across the HR value chain. She has worked across various industries, including IT, an international non-government organization, a big four firm, and currently a management consulting firm. She has an MBA from the University of Lagos and is an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management Nigeria, that's CIPM. She's also an accredited SHL, Occupational and Personality Testing, and Cognitive Process Profile Assessor. Bukola enjoys listening to music, watching rom-com movies, and mentoring young people on career development and opportunities. Please put your hands together for her. Please, can I have the next quickly? Ha. We have, thank you. So Yemi Fashion is a seasoned senior human resources manager with 31 years practice of experience across consulting, banking, and advertising industries. Yemi's expertise borders around learning, talent management, HR strategy, performance management, relationship management, and sales. He has led different HR projects such as merger, HR transformation, rewards, structuring, and organizational development. Mr. Fashion is a public speaker, a mentor, career coach, and trainer. He has a bachelor's degree in English language from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and a Master of Business Administration from the University of Ilorin. He is also a member of the CIPM, holding the MCIPM certification. He's a member. Yemi is currently the Chief Corporate Services Officer at 7-Up Bottling Company. Thank you so much, sir. He's looking very UT this morning. Thank you. So next we have Faith Akintunde. If you're around tomorrow, you hear more. Faith is a value-driven HR professional, having over 14 years work experience across financial service, oil and gas servicing, and the manufacturing industry, with competence in performance management, employee engagement, talent management, learning, and development. She worked at PZ Cousins as HR business partner, PZ Wilma, with focus on partnering leadership on business and people-related priorities. Prior to joining PZ, she worked with Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC, where she served as the HR business partner for the Golden Pasta, Noodles, and Snacks plants, where she was responsible for facilitating performance management systems, strategic workforce, and succession planning for over 1,000 employees. Thank you. Yeah. Please put your hands together. Next, we have Victor Adebayo. Victor is a value-driven HR professional having over 15 years work experience across financial service, telecommunications, and manufacturing industry, with competence in performance management, employee engagement, talent management, learning, and development. I'm jumping. So he holds a bachelor's degree in zoology, interesting, from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, and an MBA from the same ivory tower. Please put your hands together. He also holds the GPHR, SHRM, SCP, and SPHRI certifications. So if you're not changing, I'll just read the last one. Victor was a former non-executive director at Seamless HRO and currently chairs the board of 4 organizations, namely Apen Way School, Are Property Development and Estate Management Company Limited, Mega Life Health Limited, a specialist diagnosis and medical intervention center, and Diversity Talent Management Limited. Please put your hands together. I'm proud I'm in this place. I don't know about you. Put your hands together. I have a special love for this lady. She's Dr. Itunu Akinwari. She's the managing director of Medbury Services Limited. She's a healthcare investment, which is a healthcare investment company with interest in occupational health, diagnostics, pharmaceuticals, and public-private partnerships in health, providing support to various state governments. Medbury is a leading provider in COVID-19 testing across Nigeria. Put your hands together. Dr. Itunu was a founding member of the Maranatha Teens Church and once served as a choir director of Maranatha Teens and Youth Choir. See how far we've grown. Put your hands together. Mr. Emmanuel Michael, a leadership and career success coach, is a seasoned and highly sought after multiple award-winning strategic business leader with over 2 decades management experience spanning various industries such as multidisciplinary engineering, information technology, hospitality and financial services, of which over 17 years have been in human resources management practice. Between March and August 2017, he held forth as the interim CEO and head of HR at Lechigo Microfinance Bank. Is a national microfinance bank in Nigeria. He is currently the head of people and culture at Lechigo Nigeria. So for more on Emmanuel Michael, please check the link. We'll forward to all those on our WhatsApp group. Please let's make him welcome. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Our highly esteemed Pastor Segun Ogbonewo is a renowned business executive, an ordained pastor and mentor. He was in the banking industry for almost 30 years, 13 of which was at Guarantee Trust Bank, the great GT, before he joined Access Bank in 2006, where he rose to the position of general manager before leaving in 2017 to start a consulting and advisory business. He brings on board significant experience spanning information technology, operations and governance, payment systems, and settlements. Thank you. I told you to encourage me. I told you to encourage me. Thank you. Next, and Mr. Gbenga Totoy. He has had the opportunity of working in organizations like IBFC. It's a bit tiny. I really can't see it. Be suffering myself. Thank yes. He has introduced himself. He has even finished coming. Maybe people can read it. Hallelujah. Please make him welcome. So he has the opportunity of working in organizations like IBFC, Augusto, now IBFC Alliance, the Workforce Group, and Wema Bank PLC, where he had specific responsibilities to turn around the learning and organizational development function by creating a structured corporate academy. Please allow me jump. He also holds an MBA with the Business School of Netherlands, together with relevant HR certifications and training in areas such as business acumen, HR and business performance optimization, risk management, and more. Please make welcome all our special esteemed guests this morning. Thank you so much, sirs. Thank you so much, Maz, for honoring our invitation and for coming to give of yourselves this morning to young Nigerians. Thank you. But before I leave, please make welcome our highly esteemed parish pastor, Pastor Kehinde Buraimo. I like him a lot because he makes all things possible. This is happening today because we have a very vibrant and loving father. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Bukola.
Okay, thank you very, very much. And it's really an honor to be here. Thank you, panelists. Indeed, this panel is power-packed. Honestly, I think we are very privileged to have these amazing seasoned professionals here. And I'd like us to please pay attention. I believe there are papers being passed around or will be passed around. So if you have other questions that you would like to ask any of the panelists, please write them down on the piece of paper, and I'm sure the ushers will send them across to me. Thank you very much. Good morning, panelists. These are all my ebons in the HR profession. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you very much. Okay, I have a question here. First question, and I think I'm going to direct it as YF. I'm sure you saw that coming. Okay, so the question is, how do I know what career path I should take? And I know you've had an interesting career path.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I mean, let me just quickly lay some foundation to the reason why I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it, and then I sent GT on an errand to represent me, and then I came again. Be careful what you ask for. So I'd agreed I was going to be here. Then early in the week, we're going to have a strategy session in the office, and there was no way I could avoid it. But I remember that on Monday or Tuesday, I sent some words to the universe to say, let there be a shift so that I could make this meeting, right? It didn't happen Tuesday, it didn't happen Wednesday. Then I called Ginosco. I said, I won't be able to make it. So we arranged for GT to represent. And then just yesterday, the shift happened so fundamentally, it's unbelievable. And I'm here this morning. So please, pardon my rudeness in walking into a crowd that said I wasn't going to come to. So now to the question quickly. It's not going to happen for everyone the same way. The realization of your career journey or your career purpose, even beyond career, purpose generally in life, there will be several varied paths to individuals. You've got to own your own journey. I mean, let me not lie to you. I've been in HR now since 1999. At no point when I was this young did I think I was going to do HR. Life happened. Life unfolded itself. But the point is, you need to be present in the moment to be able to see the things that life is telling you about what you need to do. There are some people who... My first daughter wants to read medicine. I'm still thinking where I'm going to get dollars from to send her to Canada or somewhere now. But I mean, that age, she knew exactly what she wanted to do. And there's so many people who will be listening to me right now, online or offline, and they know exactly what they want to do. And it is perfect. You might also be in the category of life revealing itself to you on a gradual basis. And I'll give myself as an example quickly. Left Ife, like you heard, I went to Lorraine for an MBA, but I had the only objective going out of school to be successful in the corporate world. That was my overriding vision, mission, and every other thing in between. I just wanted to be successful. I wanted to do an MBA from my year 2. Life listened to that. And when I used life, you could say God. And then I found myself within the university environment doing an MBA because I served there. And then the first job that I got was a sales job. I didn't want to be a salesman. But in retrospect, I remember that while I was doing MBA, one of the ways I funded myself through school was doing part-time lecturing and selling. I was selling handheld hand sewing machine. I would leave Ilorin, come to Alaba in Lagos, buy them in bulk, and I'll be marketing to young women and older women in their homes. I was selling, making money, funding myself to go to school. So if life offered me a sales opportunity, is there a match? Yes, there is a match. But I didn't do that for more than a year, and then direct marketing came in, and I'm like, okay. After direct marketing, I went into human resources. What I'm saying is this. At times, it is not what you ask for that you get. At times, it is what you ask for that you get. But whatever life offers you at every point in time, do it well. Even the Bible emphasizes that, right? I said to my audience on LinkedIn recently, somebody somewhere is watching you in terms of what you are doing right now. And if you're doing what you're doing right now, then they will be able to recommend you for greater things. The Bible also emphasized it. If you are faithful in little, you'll be given more. So don't wait until you see a revelation of human resources or sales or marketing before you say, this is what I'm going to do. No. Great for you to have an idea or a vision or a plan for the future, but if that future is not happening yet, whatever the present is offering you at the moment, please do not ignore it. There is mystery in little beginnings, yeah? There is mystery in where you don't want to be, but you've got to learn from where you don't want to be so that you can get to where you want to. What I'm saying is this: don't always concentrate on the future in terms of your career. What is happening to you right now is an integral part of your becoming, of who you are going to be. My journey so far, honestly, in the HR space, I'll tell you that the things I learned from sales, things I learned from marketing, have all come together to make the journey in HR a lot easier. So if you're at the front desk today, do it well. If you're in sales today, don't say, target another. At least do it to the best of your ability. Whatever your hand finds to do, just do it well. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Wyatt. Thank you very much. That was just very spot on. I would like Victor to just add a bit to that, if you don't mind.
Okay, thank you very much. I know when they emphasized he had his BSc in zoology, people smiled and they were wondering how did zoo get to human resources. It was quite funny then. When I finished secondary school, I gained admission immediately, and they were so proud of me in church because I was one of the very few people who had that opportunity. And when they were asking everybody to stand up and they were mentioning the courses they were studying, I was hearing things like insurance, banking and insurance, and everybody was clapping. And when it got to me, I said zoology, and everybody went, eh? And I met someone who finished from OAU back then, University of Ife, the same department of zoology. And the day I told him that, he said, make sure you never graduate in that department. And I'm like, why? He said he finished 1982, he did masters in cell biology, and look at him today. He has nothing to show for it. So I got to OAU, you know that SUG building? I'll sit down there watching every car, and I'll be saying, who did I offend in life? You know, it was so bad. I had a third class in my first year. But my cousin called me. He's not even somebody of our faith. And he said, Victor, if you don't get what you like, you end up liking what you get. Put your best into this. I was top 10 when we were graduating from third class, simply because I then had to put my mind into it. But I attended a seminar in my graduating year, and the guy was saying, what do you want to do? And just like YF said, we all just wanted to be great. So I sat down one night and I coined out my career objective. I can remember, to be a professional troubleshooter, fully equipped for a resourceful relevance where placed. I can't forget. Back in my undergraduate days, I wrote it down. And I said, I don't know what it's going to be, but I want to be a problem solver whenever it happens, and I'm looking for an environment where they can train me well to become that. That was the first starting point. Then the second thing was, he said, look, what can you do for free? What are you gifted at doing? I can make friends easily. I can talk. Please, let that child be a parrot. Let him talk. Just build content into what he's saying. Give him books. Give him materials, video things that when he's talking, he's not yarning no pass. I am a talkative. Proudly so. Don't blame us. Now so God create us. If you want to write a petition, Baba God, day throne, go and write to him. And, you know, I asked myself, where do they need people who talk? People who make friends easily? And I used to facilitate a lot of training. I taught different tutorial centers. And sales came up. Human resources came up. There was nothing like PR then. PR was not really a big career. So I asked myself, okay, what do you want to do? Sales or HR? And then I looked at the life of a salesman. I had to start interviewing people. A salesman can wake up in Lagos, call him at 12 noon, he will tell you he's just entering Calabar. Call him by 7 p.m., he'll tell you, I'm in Kaduna right now. I'm like, nah man, all the was serious. I'm not sure I want to live that kind of life. So I followed Diolu Akinyemi then, and I made up my mind to say, you know what, it's human resources for me. And that's how I got into the HR space. And then I did my MBA. When Procter & Gamble was going to hire me, I was already working with Zenith Bank. I clearly told them I wanted HR. P&G said there was no vacancy in HR, that they would call me when one comes up. I was in Zenith when they called me, and I was thinking to myself, this is Zenith Bank. You know almighty Zenith. Back in the day, they paid well. I'm like, P&G is just a manufacturing company. And I wrote something down. I am willing to take a pay cut as much as 20,000 naira to get HR and get the kind of experience that I was looking for. I wrote it down and I was willing to. So when they called me in Ibadan to come pick up my offer letter, I got there. And they were like, are you ready? I said, yes. When they shared the offer letter with me, it was times 3.5 what Zenith Bank was paying me. In fact, I didn't ask God for his will. I knew it was God's will immediately for me to work in P&G. Is it not when you enter Jale Koko and Son, you start asking God, nah, is it your will? What you are indirectly saying is, now like this we go the day, Baba God. Then I knew it was God's will and I got into it. So my career journey was a function of understanding me, my natural capabilities, where they were relevant in the industries, the profession that actually leveraged those natural capabilities that I had in myself. And I attended seminars like this where people spoke to those things. And today, that's basically what I do. I mean, sitting on the boards of some companies, I don't do only HR anymore. I do business development. I do so many other things. When I'm discussing with the accountants in the company, they'll be like, Oga, when we go into procurement meetings, there are some vendors that now say we don't want to see Victor because I will peel the onions for you. I will help you say what is costing this cost entity. So we've moved on, but the overall truth is be yourself, learn, be very open, have a very open mind, and the sky is a starting point.
Thank you very much, Victor. That was very insightful. Okay, my next question, and this is to Faith. Besides going to the university, what are the practical and sustainable means of getting training or mentoring to help me succeed in my career? Besides going to the university.
Okay, I was going to say praise God. So beyond going to the university, again, I'll just cast this on the backdrop of, even if you went to the university and you came out with an uncompetitive grade, right? So besides going to the uni, how do you get mentorships and training? Training is right there where you are. The people you are interacting with day to day, there's something to learn from them. It's not until there is a classroom environment where we are seated or we're like this that you can get trained. I'm for example, I'm an advocate of on-the-job training and all of that. But for you to get mentorship, get equipped, get sponsored, you're going to need to go out. You're going to need to meet people. You're going to need to speak up and ask. Okay, so if I just share from my personal experience, apart from pastor, everybody on this seat, even George, Bukola, I've had one interaction or the other with them, but I have never worked with them directly, apart from Itunu right here, right? And that's even another kettle of fish, another conversation entirely. So meeting people is one of your key, and it doesn't have to be a formal arrangement. It doesn't have to be, oh, I beg to apply. You meet someone today and you like the way they spoke or you like the way they do things, you can reach out. Sometimes, in fact, everybody here, there's none of them I had to write to say, oh, can you mentor me or can you coach me? But I've been coached directly or indirectly by virtually everybody here. And you need to have that humility to learn. Emmanuel is the president right here. There's a lot that I've learned from Emmanuel. I can tell a lot of us have also learned. So it doesn't have to be this person is ahead of me, so that's the person I can reach out to. You will learn from your peers. My first job was based on a recommendation from someone that just saw the way I worked and put me there. Now, my first job in Lagos was based on a recommendation from my peer in school. We went to school together. And he was ahead of me by a year or two. He got a job faster. But the access into that organization was my friend. So talking about training, talking about mentorship, talking about getting better generally, you don't need an organized setting to actually gather those experiences or gather the support that you require. Again, a lot of the competencies that you need to become who you are or who you want to be is inside of you. Right inside of you. And that's how you know when you're in a place like this, people are talking and you're saying yes, yes, because it resonates with you. There's a thought that you need to go deeper into your heart to pick out. There's a lot of deposits that God has put in us. Like the person that likes to speak, like the person that likes to meet people. And even if you are not that person that likes to reach out or talk a lot, you are the quiet person, and that's been a very big concern in my heart recently. The reserved people, the melancholy of this world, the phlegmatic of this world. You don't like meeting people, you don't like talking to people. You still have to find a way around reaching out. It might be a chat. Some of us don't talk a lot, but we write. Some of us, it's just chat. A lot of times I don't like to call wife. I will not call him, but I will send a message to him. So you have to find what works. There are people out there that really want to help. There are a lot of people that want to help. You might just think that, oh, they can't or they don't want to help. It's your thought until you ask. So I would encourage that we have this philosophy that let it be that you got a no, not that you never asked. So reach out. Let it be that, oh, at the end of the day, I asked. I got a no. But you would never know who is going to say no to you until you ask. So you really, really have to ask. Yeah, I hope that helps.
A lot. Thank you very much. Before I let Emmanuel add to that, I've not gotten any questions yet. Do we have? Please bring them. Thank you. Emmanuel, please, do you want to add to that?
I think it has. Yeah. Hello. Okay, I think she has said most of what is required for you to get that training outside university. Maybe I will just add, you also need to do some sort of research on your own, okay? You don't just wait for someone to spoon feed you all the time. So what sort of research are you doing? You have a phone, you have data. That's an opportunity for you to also learn something new. There are several opportunities, free online courses, platforms, where you can learn. There are groups on WhatsApp which you can join. There are groups on Facebook that you can join, and you'll be able to learn things within the field that you are interested in. So if you decide this is the area that I want to develop myself in, the career you want to pursue, you begin to search out for groups in that particular area and then find out what is that they are sharing. Get yourself involved, get yourself engaged, and you can pick up some very valuable lessons that will help you to grow. Then she has also mentioned gatherings like this. Look out for gatherings like this. Some of them are virtual, some of them are physical. That's another opportunity where you can also pick something to learn from. Then you need to also talk to people. You know, when you keep things to yourself, you will not know where help is going to come from. The people that you meet in church, in school, speak to them. This is what you are looking for. You'll be surprised that the person that you are talking to next to you actually has or knows someone, or where you will get the resources that will help you to acquire that particular knowledge or skill that you are looking for. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I'm going to direct this as Benga. So there's a question here from the audience. Says that with the current situation and economy in Nigeria, what is your advice to young graduates in getting a source of income that is looking for a job or starting up a business? Looking for a job, starting up a business, or having a side hustle. Let's add that.
Okay, it's on. That's a big one. But to be honest, to a number of young people, I think what's heavy on my heart is to say that we are already doing what we should be doing. I think that pressure to be someone else, that thing that has happened to our environment that allows us to use someone else's journey or measurement of success as benchmark for our own success, or that tells us we are doing what is right or not. It's so huge in the environment now that I want to address, because for all is what, that person that is asking that question is probably doing the right thing. The result has just not come through yet. And that person just needs to keep at it, right? And I'll tie this back to the first two answers, because I've always believed mentorship is about mirroring. And sometimes the options we give ourselves in terms of career paths or businesses are often too influenced by the environment we live in. And it creates a block in our minds where we think we don't have options. For instance, coming to a place like this just makes me emotional. I was born in Oshodi, but I grew up in Owerri. And when I was coming in this morning, I was driving behind, well, the Owerri people here will understand, the favorite pillar, this caterpillar that takes the sand from. And in my heart, I was telling myself, oh God, do you know what? A lot of my friends or people I grew up in Owerri, this was the business. This was the side hustle. And if they are not careful, and they are only asking people that live in Owerri, I mean, I know when Deeper Life was just roofing sheets. If they are only asking people in that environment, what should I do with my life? What career options do I have? What side hustles do I have? The options will be limiting, because they will either, just like the example you gave, imagine that person who studied something around cell, telling you then that you are wasting your time. In a time like this, when the entire world is placing a lot of value on people who understand cell and cell systems and how to build systems around it. So first is, let's be very careful of the messaging or the pressure that we are picking up from the environment that invalidates what we are already doing. That's one. The second thing is this big shift, and I know I emphasized it during my session, this big shift that has happened, because the options are a lot more different because of the shift that is in the world. What career options we project, and since I'm in the church, I want to say it, please, when we do Children's Day events, let's stop showing them only engineers, lawyers, and accountants, because it is mirroring. It is mirroring to people that's the only thing you can do. So when people now come and say, I understand digital media, and that's what I want to do, parents are telling them, no. How can you be writing on Facebook and call it a career? No, I'm a lawyer. You should. Those are the things. Or someone comes to you now and say, I'm a cartoonist. I know how to draw. I grew up in Owerri being a very good pencil, someone that works with pencil. But it was beaten out of me. I'm not joking. It was beaten out of me. How do you mean? You are going to secondary school and you are drawing with pencil. Today, someone should go count the number of cartoon channels you have on DSTV, or someone should just check the value of Pixar as a company that drives animation globally. So that's what I want to leave here. That person is probably doing the right thing. You just need more time or to dig deeper into that. And please, for a while, forget the notion that popularity equates success. Forget the notion that visibility validates competence. Forget all that for a while and just give that thing 5 years, not 1 year, because that's what makes you think it is not right. You are now asking me to tell you to go do something else that will be influenced by my own thinking and my own journey. You probably know what you are doing and you are doing the right thing. So just stay there.
Wow, thank you very much. In other words, just own your own journey. Own your journey. I have a very interesting question here. This is going directed at Dr. Itunu and Mr. Shego. There's so much politics in my workplace. I'm not good at politics, and it seems to be ruining my chances of getting recognition and promotion. Please, how do I get the deserved recognition or reward for my good work without the politics? I'll let you go first, and then I'll have Dr. Itunu.
Okay, thank you so very much. Sorry, before I go into that, there was something that was said earlier on, and I think for transparency and integrity purposes, I needed to clarify that. I was an ED in Intercontinental Bank. When Access bought Intercontinental in 2011, I was already a GM in Access Bank, so I was posted to the merger. So we spent 7 months in merging Intercontinental with Access Bank. So yes, I was an ED for those 7 months. But of course, there's a limit to the number of EDs we could have. So when we finished the merger, I returned to my job as GM. But I think a lot of people, even since then, they just say ED Access Bank. Because I know young people today, you will Google now and say, okay, ED in Access Bank. And then if you don't find my name, you say, that pastor has come to lie to us. So I think it's important to just clarify that. Thank you so much for integrity purposes. Yeah, politics in the office. I think it's real. It's real. And we need to actually prepare ourselves and learn about that. And I think this person was just waiting for me, because this case goes to me very well. I have a few friends who thought that I was too rigid. And the reason I didn't become something like a deputy managing director and all that was because of my complete refusal to play politics. But let me put it this way, there are different types of politics. There's a professional politics. There's also a politics that does not add value to the organization and what you do. So I will not ask you to play that. But what is politics in the place of work? It's just to make yourself relevant and acceptable to the tenets and the objectives of the company and the leaders at that time. You see, every leader has a mandate of what he or she wants to do in an organization. Now, there's a corporate vision that each organization will have. Now, the truth is that every senior management staff must be seen to agree and be a part of that mandate. If you are not, there's no point for you becoming a senior management staff. I actually believe that if you are not, you either resign or you become the MD and change that focus. Those are the options for you, to be honest. However, there are a couple of things you need to do, and these are psychosocial things. And he talked about competence, which anybody in senior management is expected to have anyway. But there are some psychosocial skills, which when he talks about capabilities beyond your technical competencies, that you need to have to be a leader, to be honest. And so this is how you relate with people, where you have emotional intelligence, for example, how you oversee and how you plan work, how you create ecosystems that will make your organization more relevant, more acceptable, and more successful. Now, in a place of work, the people that are able to do this, to be honest, whether they play the politics or not, they will be candidate for elevation to that point. But if you don't know how to do this, no matter how much you go and suck up to a managing director, it will show up when you get to that position. So the important thing here is that understand what is important to the organization, align yourself with that, ensure that you push that in the organization and make a success of it. If you do that, people will say you are playing politics, but it's the right thing to do. However competent you are, let me ring that to you today. You can be esteemed in an organization. If you are not relevant to the growth, development, expansion, knowledge, everything about the organization, you are just a technical person, and there's a limit to where you are going to go to. So I will ask you to do that, but don't suck up. Don't go and be spoiling other people, because some people do that in order to rise. Because at the end of the day, the God that we serve sees what each and every one of you does. If you do it well enough, you get a reward. If you do it wickedly, the reward is also there for you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Itunu, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot. I think Pastor has said most of everything. But first of all, before I speak, I just want to thank the organizers for the opportunity to be here. I've sat where you are seated today. I've been here. I've sung on this stage before, like 20 plus years ago. And, you know, just being invited here is so special to me, and I'm so grateful for being here today and being able to impart, because I've been imparted many times, just as you are sitting as well. First of all, I want to ask a question. How many of us have siblings here, like a brother or a sister? And when you are growing up, have you ever had to struggle for the front seat with any of your siblings before? Like, you know, I want to sit in front. Right? I've had to do that. I have a younger brother, you know. I want to eat first. I want to sit in front. You see, the ability to sit in front instead of your brother sitting in front is politics. You understand? My ability to be able to say to my father that this is the reason why I must sit in front, because I'm older than him, or because I came downstairs first, right? And my father saying it's true, it's to sit in front. That is organizational politics. You cannot grow without understanding what politics is. Now, there's a lot of definitions to politics. Some will say, oh, eye service, and give it all sorts of names. The truth is that maybe the professional name for that is something you can call emotional intelligence, or understanding your workplace, understanding your boss, and understanding what you need to move forward. Now, you see, people don't give jobs to people that know the job only. They give jobs to people they like. And we need to understand it. And I'll say something else here that is very true for all of us. People make decisions and then justify their decisions with the data they have. I don't know if you understand. Let me say that again. And there are a lot of HR professionals here, and I'm sure they know that there are times when maybe a candidate comes in and you just like the person. You just like the way the person speaks, the way the person dresses, you know, the way the person approaches you. And there's the possibility that you want that, you know, somewhere inside you just want that candidate to say the right thing because you already like the person. That's how God made us. Generally, people are not very objective. We, as leaders, need to struggle to be objective, but that's not how people are. So when you take that back into your organization, how do you do things the right way? How do you play politics the right way? Because there is no place without politics. Forget it. You can be good at what you are doing. You are at a technical role. Maybe you are good at, I don't know, maybe you are in an FMCG, or let's say a place like, what's it called? Chicken Republic, for example, yes. A fast food restaurant, and maybe you are the cook there, and you are cooking nicely. People like your efori roll, what's it called? And they eat it all the time. Fantastic. But you want to grow to become the manager or the branch manager. The skills required are different. You need people skills, and sometimes people call that politics. So, you can't say because I'm so good at cooking this, they must promote me. Do you understand what I mean? You can't say, well, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I don't need to greet my branch manager, I don't need to greet the ED, it's eye service when I come into the office, because it's all politics. You need to learn the politics, and you need to learn how to play it properly as a Christian. Now, there's something that guides my own life. I always use this word. It says, whatever things are true, noble, good, and of good report, let that flourish and abound through you. So, when I get into anything in life or at the workplace, I try to understand the interest of every stakeholder. Let me explain what I mean by interest. I do a lot of public-private partnerships with governments, state governments. And I enter into a place. First of all, the first thing in my mind is, who are my stakeholders? Who are the decision makers in this place? I want to get this job from this state government. Who are the people I need to discuss with? Maybe the governor is one. But you see, that secretary that opens the door for you might be more important than that governor. That is politics. We recently got what's it called, a job with the state government recently, right? And as soon as we entered the Director General's office, there was a secretary there, you know, not looking like a secretary, right? And we entered into the place. The first thing I did was, Eka Soma. You see this lady wearing suit, coming from Lagos, she's supposed to be a big woman, and she enters and she kneels and says, Eka Soma. That is politics. As I was stepping out of the place, I said to my guy, give that lady money for coke. Is this lady that will call me, digitide, Emabo. That is politics. Whatever things are true, good, noble, and of good report. Because you see, there can be eye service and there can be negative politics. So, and sometimes there's a thin line between it. What guides me is, what I'm doing, is it noble? Is it of integrity? Am I breaking any laws? Is it of good report? Am I lying? Right? Because sometimes you have to walk that thin line. I work with public officials, and sometimes all they are just looking for is respect. A lot of people assume, oh, you need to bribe people and all that. Maybe not, because I will never do that. That's politics. Entering into a place, and I'll tell you something about myself, because I'm tall and I speak well and I have a loud voice and all that, and I start speaking, I realize that I could come off as intimidating. So people are expecting me to be rude. People are expecting me to be proud. My ability to enter into a place and disarm them by kneeling down, just that singular act, that's politics. But that singular act, you say, lady, you dey humble gan. Very humble. They've not spoken with me, they don't know if I'm proud, they don't know anything about me. That is politics. But one of the things I have done is to understand who my stakeholders are. Who are those stakeholders? Who are the decision makers? I enter into a place and I say, oh, there's a head of HR somewhere. I know that as soon as I'm coming to bring in a public-private partnership, maybe to take up over a diagnostic center in a state, for example, I know that the head of, the person that was running it before is already afraid. And that person is already positioning to bring me down. I understand that that is politics. I have to go there and play the politics. I need to get in, understand who are the people that are for me, who are the people that are against me, who are the people that are neutral, who are the people that take the decisions. How do I align my behavior to ensure I get what I want? For those of you that are married here, sometimes if you follow me on WhatsApp, because I'm a WhatsApp blogger, I can praise my husband. From here to forever. That's why I have many Chanel bags. I'm not lying. No, I'm going to be very real with you. I'm telling the truth, right? But you see, when you want to get something from somebody or from something, or you want to get something to produce for you, think about them. Don't think about only yourself. Think about the other people around you. It's not just about politics. It's not about saying, oh, I can't play the politics of this organization. Life is about politics. You just need to learn how to play it well by being honest, doing the right thing, not breaking any rules or laws, but understanding what each stakeholder requires and give it to them. You don't lose anything by going to greet somebody, good morning, ma. It doesn't take anything out of you. But you can go and say, I don't play politics in this place, so I know how to cook jollof rice. Therefore, they must promote me to become the branch manager. It doesn't work that way.
Thank you.
Learn your stakeholders and know how to work with them.
Wow. Thank you. That was just spot on. Thank you, Dr. Itunu. There's so many questions there. I was trying to just sieve out, like ones, and I can read them out. But one has been recurring here, has been around finding the right mentor, and how, how do you find the right mentor? How do you position to get the right kind of mentor and all that? And because I know wife always has those kind of requests on a per second billing, I'm going to ask him that question. So, wife.
Okay, as soon as I heard mentor, I knew you were going to look my way, and I was trying to not look at you, so you don't call me. Let me quickly join the man of God by saying that I also need to correct a wrong impression. I am not a career coach. I am not a coach in any way. If I see after this program anywhere somebody posts anything and says, YF or Yebi Fashion career coach, I met him, I took a picture with me, I would deny you, I'm not a coach. Okay. Right. So on mentoring, interestingly, the two questions you've asked me now, I've had different routes to, my route to mentoring has been totally different from the experiences of other people. I've never had a mentor, interestingly, till now. Yeah, that moment, I know. But I found mentorship in reading books. That was how, life is easy now. As soon as we finish from here, you could Google any of us on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere, and then you say, I'll follow him, I'll try and ask him, or LinkedIn and all that. When we started our career 30 years ago, we were dropping physical CVs at front desk around Lagos, VI, Abi Pastor. But now, it's 8 years, or what do you guys call it, and you send CV. We didn't have access to people. I'm not kidding you. So the responsibility to therefore grow rested a lot on self. But life has changed and we are moving with the times. But please, this is what I'll say. I'm not going to dwell too much on it. Don't look for mentors because you want to succeed alone. Build relationships first. It always helps. Go to the table with value. Change your mindset about going to the table to take off value. The best experience I've had so far about a request for mentorship was a guy called Emmanuel Abegunde. Darius, at that time, a year or 2 years ago, was still at the University of Lagos. I think he's still there, studied engineering, I think. And he came across to me on LinkedIn, and it was a 3-paragraph introduction of himself. And guess what he wanted to do? Wife, I've read about your posts and your profiles, and I'm looking for ways to help you. Because he's a LinkedIn kind of influencer. So he was trying to help me to manage my page. That was the offer on the table. But do you know where it was going ultimately? Because later, after school, he wants to be an HR person and wanted me to mentor him. But straight away, I fell in love with this guy. At some point, because I didn't give him anything to do, I was even a bit worried. Okay, I said to him that all my posts of 3 years ago till end of 2019, he should compile them in a single Word document. And he did it in about 2 or 3 days. And then he was asking me for more. Now, please ask me, would I mentor him or not? No choice. So, change all these guys you're looking at, I'm sure you have like 1 million mentees already. Victor, I'm sure your request is about 15 a second. GT, let's not go there. You've got to separate yourself from the crowd. The crowd of the ordinary is very, very thick. You've got to do something extra to be extraordinary. You've got to take a leap. So please, mentorship is great, but don't go from, as soon as we finish now, send me a message, send GT, send Victor, send EM, you come at Jeshani. No, don't do that. And also, let me also disabuse your mind. My perception to mentorship, like I said, is totally different. Because I never had a mentor. Your first mentor to yourself is yourself. You can't outsource the responsibility of your career or business growth to somebody else. That primary responsibility resides in you. Mentorship is great, but you are first and foremost your own mentor. You've got to have a career visioning for yourself. You've got to take risks. You've got to make sacrifices. You've got to adapt to change. Your mentor can't do all of that for you. They can guide you. But let me tell you, as you're looking for us, we are also looking for solutions to our own career problems. Let nobody deceive you. We are battling with our own issues on a daily basis, and we're trying to find solutions. But you've got to do the things you need to do fundamentally from a self-perspective before you embark on the journey to find an external mentor. And the second thing, if you're already working, please do not ignore the place of your line manager or your boss at the workplace. That's your mentor. If the relationship is not rosy or smooth, find a way to make it smooth. Because all the things we are saying to you now, today, if you get to work tomorrow, you won't see, on Monday, you won't see any of us beside you telling you to do this. You are now there with that boss. She's not nice. Or she shouts at me. Or he's crazy. 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, January 1 to January 30. Who are you working with? That individual. Find a way on a daily to get the best out of your line manager after you have primarily gotten the best from yourself. So when there is a gap, therefore, in the things that you should do primarily and a gap between what your line manager should help you to do, you still feel there is a need to talk to people, then please approach any of them. Don't leave me out. They will sort you. They will sort you. But don't always start the journey from what I can get, and don't start that journey externally. It should always start from within.
Thank you very much, YF. Thank you very much. Emmanuel, I'm going to direct this at you. So the question here is around someone who is going through some mental health issues because of a toxic work situation. And she's scared, she wants to resign, but she's scared of living for the unknown. She's scared of living for the unknown. I guess she doesn't have anything yet as well, but it's toxic and it's affecting her mental health, or his mental health.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So what I will advise this person to do, you need to ask some questions. Ask yourself some questions. You're going through mental challenge. If it's at work, I think you need to sit down and try to reflect. What is it that is really causing this situation? Is it the work? Is it your line manager? Or is it something from home that is making you feel the way you're feeling? So let's say if it's from work, since you want to jump out of the work, but you don't know where you'll be finding yourself, where you'll be landing. Have you had conversation with your line manager if the line manager is the source of the challenge or the problem that you're going through? Maybe they don't even know that the way they are relating with you or responding to your behavior in the office is impacting you, impacting your mental state. So that conversation is very critical for you to have that conversation. Okay? The other thing I will also say is you need to find someone still outside of work. You need to talk to someone. So talk to other people. Maybe there are those who are going through the same challenge that you are going through. Talking to them to see how they've dealt with such a situation could also help you to find a way to resolve that particular challenge. I also believe in prayers. So you also need to meditate, look into the Word. What does the Word say? Pray to God to direct you. Because when you commit whatever it is that you are going through to God, He will somehow show you a path that you need to follow that will help you resolve that particular challenge. So I used to give example of myself. Sometimes when I find myself in a very difficult situation and I don't really know what to do, I close my eyes, say a word of prayer, sleep. By the time I wake up, an idea will drop, and I will try to carry out that particular idea, and somehow I get over it. So you need to speak to your line manager to understand what it is that is making them relate with you the way you are. And then for you to go out, sometimes people will say, I want to resign because I'm frustrated in this job and I don't have anything to do. Okay? And when they finally resign, they have nothing to do, they start complaining, I wish I did not resign. Okay, you get to that stage, you say you wish you did not resign. It's because you didn't take time to think through it. So when we're going through things, we sometimes tend to take some decisions that are rash, and at the end of the day, we regret that particular action. So instead of just jumping and taking a decision, you need to calm down, separate yourself from that particular environment, and reflect and see. It could be that you are the problem. You might be the problem. So if you are the problem, see, is there something you can change about yourself? When you change that thing about yourself, and then see how, whether it will improve the relationship between you and the other person at the workplace. So that would be my advice for this particular person.
Thank you very much, AM. Why, if you want to add something?
Yeah, so quickly, this is what I want to say to my generation, you guys. I'm a millennial, so I'll quickly say that one thing I see lacking generally in today's world, based on career conversations we have daily, is resilience. We are missing it, guys. Let's be real with ourselves. The world will not always listen or adjust itself to our demands. The workplace is not going to be the ideal workplace from the way we have defined it. In the world, you will see challenges. Another version called it tribulation, right? But you've got to go through it. The mountain will not always move. God will not always move the mountain. At times, we need to climb it. And in the process of climbing it, we develop muscles and strength so that when we see the next one, we can look back and say, no, I mean, I've done it before. So those things are ahead of us, not because those things will kill us, guys. We also need to be resilient. Nobody is successful in today without guts, grit, and gusto. But those are the things that are lacking. I am not in any way belittling the challenges that we face at work. I worked in 12 organizations. Believe me, I have almost seen it all. But by the time I get to the next one, I'm like, oh wow, I've not seen this one before. Think about it, that I was head of HR, and one day another head of HR was recruited to my organization. And the first meeting I had with that head of HR was like, Yemi, you need to find another job to do. But I was moving to a project to represent HR, and I stayed in that organization for 9 months before I got another job. Not that I wasn't looking, I was looking, but it took 9 months. And when I resigned, the first thing the head of HR said to me was, Yemi, how did you survive? You didn't lose your energy, you didn't lose your zeal for 9 months. So guys, we need to also rise up to the occasion. I'm always looking at the other side of the things that we need to do ourselves, apart from the things that we tell you can happen externally. A lot is hiding in you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, friend. Just a quick add-on to this, and I'm happy that this is coming out, because sometimes even our generation is almost afraid of your generation now to tell the truth before they say they have come again. Now, the truth is this: life has to be battled. You have to face life and run over life. So it's important that you develop what he has said. But I also want to say, I don't know who has the question. If you are a middle-level manager, or you are a senior person, or you are aspiring to be one, I think you don't have to quickly drop the ball and then run off. It's also common these days. People quickly run off away. Where they are going, a bigger problem, a bigger dragon is waiting for them. So the earlier you understand that you need to survive and battle through, the better for you. Now, if you are a supervisor, what you should then do is that if you work in an organization that is toxic, can you change that? In your own immediate environment, that's the philosophy I adopted all my career. Now, if they say others talk down, people, they are not friendly, they are wicked, in my own division, I will stand for what I believe in. And you need to be able to do that so that at least, even if there is madness all around the whole organization, when it comes to your own area, there is some measure of sanity. There's an oasis of sanity that you can create. Now, it also has its own problem. Now, if the ethos of that organization, although unwritten, is crisis and chaos, and you are creating they can see you as the weakling. But let me tell you, a lot of people in the organization will see you as a leader that they can work, that they can come to, and you can help to develop them. What I'm saying is that light your own candle and try to make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. This question is directed at Faith and Victor. Says, what does it take to be a successful career person, and what are the challenges you face? Maybe Faith can go first, and then we'll take Victor afterwards.
So what do you call success? That's the question. A lot of us look at people, all those people seated here, they are successful, you know. That's the mindset. But to have a successful career, quote and unquote, do you do what you enjoy doing? That which you're doing today, are you enjoying it? Are you adding value? Right. So, at the end of the day, what we call success sometimes is not success. if they have money, if they can afford everything, if you want to fly abroad, go anywhere you want to go to, so you're successful, it's a facade, right? But as a believer, as a child of God, are you in purpose? Are you doing what the Lord is asking you or has called you to do? That's another conversation entirely, because you want to start setting confusion in place. The moment you start talking about purpose, it's like nobody ever knows purpose. But if you are doing that thing that adds value to somebody else, adds value to people around you, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful. Talking about working in a toxic environment, being the different person, creating that atmosphere that is unique, that people want to, approach. You might look like the weakling, as been said, right? You might look like the odd one out, but are you adding value? I share a story. Just this morning, I was working out with another younger person, and she was always talking about her workplace each time we run like that on Saturdays. There was a story of this expatriate that was on the team. The organization was toxic. I was their HR. So I worked there for like 4 years. It was really, really tough working in that organization. A lot of politics, a lot of putting people down, a lot of stagnancy and all that. But this expatriate, he stood out. He was the nicest of everybody. He was the one that would give recognition, that would take care of people, that would say, oh, we need to paint your office. Why? You're working in a paint company. Why is your office not painted? You know, those kind of stuff. Politics happened. It was taken out. It was taken out of the organization. He was out of job. For like 3 months, I was talking to him, and it was like, Faith, if you find something in Nigeria, I'm happy to come. Just this morning, this person was telling me that, oh, this person is back. He's back into the company. Everyone is excited to have him. I tell you, this was what happened in the space of 3-4 years. The company came to a halt. A lot of stealing, a lot of things happened, and the big players were taken out. They were sacked. Just on Friday was when this person resumed. So this is to say that at the end of the day, God stands for the truth. God stands for those people that really add value, even if it doesn't look like it's making sense. But you have to just know that which the Lord has asked you to do and do it right. Even if it doesn't look good at that time. Eventually, it might look like a rough ride, but you're going to arrive at that destination and you'll be very excited about it.
Thank you very much. Victor, please. Thank you.
You all saw me touching my mobile phone. I was not responding to a chat. I tried to Google the word career success. And what I decided to do was to split them into two. And why? I actually did this exercise in 1998. And it was a bit of a spiritual and physical exercise. Don't mind me, I've read the Bible Genesis to Revelation, and I'm doing so again. So every day, a chapter a day, not something of a rush. The word success was mentioned once, and it was even qualified as good success. And there was the part that says, for you to have that good success, this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. But I then said, okay, what is the human aspect to it? And my dictionary gave me a definition of success, which Google is returning to me exactly unchanged today. The accomplishment of an aim or purpose. So when you say, I want to achieve career success, what is your career aim and purpose? Oftentimes we term success as making money, having fame, and popularity. For some others, it's about influence. So you need to sit down and ask yourself first, what do I want to achieve? My first goal in life was to earn 100,000 naira. Do you know what that money can do for me? I was earning 5K a month, and I was so dreaming of 100,000 naira. And when I got into Zenith, they offered me 80. 3 months down the line, it got to 88,000 naira. I was a big boy. I was excited and happy that I was achieving my career goal. But then, I can't stop dreaming. Today, I pay multiples of 100,000 naira as monthly tax. You do the maths yourself. Now, success is not just stagnant. At every point in time, you need to dare to dream. So at this point in time, for me in secondary school, success for me was passing JAMB, passing WAEC, and gaining admission. I did achieve that. Then I needed to set another goal. Graduate with a good grade. And then I did everything necessary to do that. When I started working, and it would detour back to some of the questions we asked about working relationship and, politics in the world of work. Every place where I work, people I identify as the closest friend. I'm almost trying not to say this, but let me say it because it will help you. Who are the closest friends to my line managers? And as senior enough are the people I make my mentors within the place of work. Why? They will always have a peep view into what my manager thinks of me. And during our one-on-one, conversation, they will, in fact, I left one organization, it was my mentor who came back and gave me some feedback. Oh, this person thinks like this about you, and this is what I think you should do. I did some of those things. One day she was so upset, she just called me into one of the meeting rooms, and she was like, Victor, you in HR now? I'm like, yeah. He said, get out of here. I said, what happened? He said, your boss, that I'm personally mad for you. Your boss is undermining you. Go. That day, I sat on my system, looked online, applied to another company. They called me within 1 week. And when my boss was like, oh, Victor, why are you leaving all of that? She came and met me. Madalo, run. So for me, the success is growing and progressing in my career. What do I need to do to achieve those things? Sometimes we may not have the benefit of seeing the future. But when you look back, in the words of, Steve Jobs, you can always connect the dots. And then you begin to see those things adding up. So the first thing for your career is, what do you want? Then begin to put in place all the things that can add up to getting there. And if you are confused, reach out to people and ask questions. Get on Google and ask questions. And when you have all of those things, it works. And in my personal life, and my wife knows this, and pardon me for sharing this, I'm not trying to sound very spiritual. I do vigils a lot. I work till 12, and sometimes, between 1 and 4, I am praying. And then I sleep at 4 o'clock and wake up 5 and start preparing for the day. And I do that consistently, over time. If my vigil goes beyond 3 days in a week, my wife knows that she's the prayer point. So she will wake up and say, Kini mo se fun e? Because, see, God gave her to me. So if I have a complaint, Baba God, say like Adam, sit down, JJ, now you bring Eve, can't give him. So you brought her, and we have, people look at us, we have a very wonderful relationship. And I can say that freely. See, I buy a brand new car, now she go ride them. It's not because I'm romantic. It's because the older car can break down on 3rd Milan Bridge. Now she will just call me, your motto is on 3rd Milan. I've given to the RRS there, come and fix it. And if you see a woman riding a big car, you want to start, instead of go look yourself, say, now big man go there here. So it's protecting me. Why? I want success in my marriage. What should I do? Pray to God, put certain things in place on the physical side, and then I have that personal, good, romantic relationship that I crave for with my wife. So have your plan, what you want to achieve, and work towards it. That's career success.
Wow. Thank you very much. We've even delved into relationship matters now. This is very rich. And unfortunately, we have to now really wrap up now. I've gotten a sign that we have about very few minutes left. Maybe 2 more questions before we go. One to Dr. Itunu and then one to GT. GT, again, it was specific to you, but the question was around ladies first. Okay, he said I should do ladies. Okay, that's fine. This question is very interesting, and I just had to, I must take this. So this person is a marketer, and his boss keeps advising him or her to go to a club and market. says his boss is a Christian, he is also a Christian, but he cannot go to a club. And he's a redeemed member. In fact, the boss too is a redeemed member. I'm reading I did not see it was written here. And his boss has threatened to sack him. What should he do? We're not going to, okay, so it was, I don't know now. Maybe it's the club or not missing target. So miss target. Okay, let's take both sides. Okay, so do you want to take that?
Wow, that's a difficult question. Okay, I think JT has just said it all, right? Is he sacking you for not going to the club or for not meeting your targets, right? Now, I always say that there are many ways to achieve a certain thing. If I want to go to Ibadan, I can either go through Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, or I can go through Ajah and go through Ekpe, or I can fly a helicopter and just take a separate route. The most important thing is that I get to my destination. So you have to be clear. Now, the truth is that at the workplace, I think the real question is around your values. I won't talk about whether you should go to the club or not go to the club. Different people have different views around what is good or what is not good. I won't go there. But I think the real principle is about when you are being requested to do something that is against your value system or against something you believe in or against your Christianity. A good comparison is people that, some banks that they say hire only yellow-looking tall girls and ask them to wear miniskirts and go and talk to rich big men. It's a value problem. The issue is, what is my goal? What is my target? If you are not comfortable going to the club to get it, is there any other innovative means or any other thing you can do that is in line with your own belief system that can get you what you are still looking for? But then it also depends on what you are selling. Some people will say they don't want to sell beer. Some people will say they don't want to sell cigarettes. Again, it's a value conversation. For example, if what you do in the company is to build clubs or sell a certain thing that only clubs use, then I don't know how you are going to not sell to clubs unless you say to the club owner, please come and meet me in church, or please come and meet me somewhere else. So it also depends on what it is you are selling. If you are not comfortable selling what you are selling, maybe you should not be in that place. That's also something you need to think about. But if there are other ways and means through which you can get to where you are going, or innovative ways through which you can get to where you are going, then you need to think about that and then plot a map for yourself. At the end of the day, if you do double your targets, if you get double the aim, I don't think your boss is going to say, because you did not go to the club, I'm going to sack you. No. The most important thing is identify what that goal is and get that goal. But if you look at it and you cannot do something without breaking your own value system, maybe it's time to leave.
Thank you very much. I would like Oshego. Yes, I'll hate to add to that.
Thank you, ma'am. And I mean, very well said. I mean, it's about value. I mean, what's your value system? What do you believe in? But let me share an example with you. When I used to work in GT Bank, I think 2001, the first subsidiary outside Nigeria. So I was out there. And two of us were sent there to set it up. It was in the Gambia, then later Sierra Leone, and then Ghana. This was how we covered West Africa then. Now, in the country where we were, it was a small country. So the professionals there usually will be found around clubs, really. And the tradition there, very, very funny. You leave work at around 5, 6. They don't go home. They come to a club. But the clubs were not the kind of clubs of noisy making. They were a few like that, but the professionals would just sit down, eat, talk, politics, anything. So we had to go there to be able to get into the, it wasn't good. I was a pastor. And I don't think that was what I wanted to be doing daily. But honestly, it was it was okay. I'll drink my Maltina. They would joke about I should drink beer. Of course, I said I was not drinking beer. Then we'll talk about that. We were able to break into a couple of them. But let me tell you one thing. Then we raised the bar. They said, no, there's this beautiful club that truly to break into this market, you had to be there. They invited us, and of course, I was GM Operations and IT, my managing director. We went, oh, these Nigerians, they talked very well with us. We went into that club, brethren. Honestly, I nearly cried. Inside the club, you see people, elderly people, professionals, they were discussing nonsensical things. I mean, when I say nonsensical, openly dissecting the physiology of women, what it is to go out with 4 women in a month, and stuff like that. It was terrible. I cringed where I was sitting. I nearly went inside because I was just like, if Christ really comes now, what will I say I was doing inside that place? Marketing or what? With this kind of filthiness going on around there. So the other guy was a Methodist minister. I was a redeemed minister. So we looked at each other and said, today we're in trouble. We wanted to go out. They had locked the door. So we finished. But let me be honest with you. We came out and we said, no, not again. But what should we do? We wanted to break even within 2 years. And so we said, rather than go to the club. These are professional, big lawyers, big judges. We decided to target them at their offices and their homes. Because in the home, your wife cannot be there and you are talking about the physiology of a woman, you know. So we organized meetings. We went to their homes. We went to their offices. We found different ways. We organized programs for them. Training. We brought people from the UK to come and train business success at that level. All of them will be there. Nobody will talk about women in that place. So the point I'm just making is that she said it. Success is what you wanted. There are many ways to do success. Don't compromise on your personal values because you want success. If, to be honest, I was told that the only way I could make it was to be going to that club, at that point, then I would revise my decision whether I wanted to still be with that institution or not with that institution. So I think it's important to find many ways to make success in what you do without compromising your values.
Thank you very much, sir. That was just spot on. Okay, so our very last question. GT says there seems to be an IT side to every occupation these days. Does this mean everyone has to be tech savvy?
Just before I jump to that,
okay.
This value conversation, my personal advice, determine your limits before you find yourself in situations where you are then trying to make the decision. So, if it's money, be very clear on what you will not do before the opportunity is given. If it's women, be very clear, because if you are waiting to be found in the situation, you will consider options that are not likely good for you, right? And speaking to the question on technology, to be honest, yes. So when I was speaking, I was saying we will not all become technology people, but we cannot but understand technology, how it affects business, how it affects our work, and more importantly, how it will help us deliver more on our jobs. And technology doesn't have to be this big thing. Ability to use your phone effectively, ability to, so if you're in an organization and there is something techy about your job now or in the near future, go learn it on the job with friends outside of the job or anywhere else. But you cannot but. I mean, we're in church, and by the time we sat down, he and Michael had to tell me in one WhatsApp group, somebody that is in Canada was saying, oh, GT, nice presentation. No idea that the guy was listening. We could have just been here and we are talking to 130 people, but the truth is, as we are here, probably someone is listening to us in the White House. That is how technology is now, and we can't run away from that going forward. And the implication on businesses, our jobs, even the way we run our lives. If you check, your kids probably can use your phones better than you do, and you cannot but then buy them tabs at a certain stage and all of that. That is the world we are in now. And since we are in the church, please, let's address this bias we have where what we don't understand, we call it a mystery, and we make it devilish. That is a mystery just means is hard to be understood, not that it cannot be understood. And technology shouldn't be something like that that we just mystify. It's exciting, it's lovely, it's important to every job and every organization, and honestly, we all need to be tech savvy. That's the.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so mine is to take 1 or 2 steps back from the workplace, because I know that there might be individuals here who are seeking jobs. After NYC, you want to start your career. As we say that technology is an enabler for the workplace, even for you where you are right now, technology is an enabler. In 2021, we still find individuals who cannot do virtual interviews. I mean, these are guys who do interviews every day, so they will attest to it. So if you think I'm lying, the audio is on your right. Click on, and the guy, you actually see the guy fidgeting.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. Tuesday this week, I was interviewing for a Greek desk, insurance at Greek desk in my organization. We had 4 people. The third guy, sir, can you see, this is where we were on Teams. We were calling, and after about 3 minutes, I said to other members of the panel, well, we've made a decision. This person clearly will not thrive in our organization. Let's move on. This week, Tuesday.
One critical thing you need to understand is that the workplace is now global. Let me say that again. You can be sitting here and you work in Canada. You don't have to leave. Right? Now, I have the opportunity of working in 3 continents. Our business is now in 3 continents. And we work with different people all around those spaces. Different timelines, time zones. When somebody's waking up is when another person is sleeping. You cannot do without tech anymore. It has become the office of the future. It's like saying before, you will say something like, oh, do I know how to sit on a chair or sit in a table? Do I need to know that? Yes, you need to do that. That's the same way. You need to know tech to be able to work. So there's nothing like, we need to upgrade from WhatsApp, because WhatsApp too is tech. But we need to move to other things like, how do I use it? And it's very easy to use. Just finally, my husband was saying to me a few days ago that he's struggling to get an IT person and I'm begging the IT person to collect 2 million naira a month. You know why? Because the person is working with one company in Ireland and this person is getting paid in pounds. You know what that means? He gets up in the morning, he doesn't even have his bath, he's just working and he's getting like 2-point-something million or 3 million a month. And he's not doing Yahoo. It's just tech.
Of course.
Right? So you need to learn tech. It's very important.
Sorry, wife. Let me just add this twist. Okay. There's a lady I mentor. I got her into my previous organization, doing beautifully well. A point in time, she got married, and then like a month later on, she called me. I was like, big bros, I want to resign. And I'm like, why? He said, because the husband is here. He works for a Dutch company while being based here in Nigeria. So every day, she's the one going to the office. The husband is at home. So the guy was like, people would think it's my wife that is feeding me. The husband went online, got her a job to also be serving another company in Europe so that the 2 of them will be in the house together. And guess how much? Was paying her 2.5 times what she was earning in that office. I just told her that, just tell me when the triplets arrive. And then she busted into laughter. That this is what is happening. You must be. It's not that we must all be coders. My children, 9, 7, 3. The 3-year-old is always all over them. But they code. They enjoy to do it. The second one loves the graphic end. The first one is the more analytical one, who will show you the codes and everything. And when they come to meet me, I'll say, you know my generation, we can use what you develop and build some marketing behind it. It doesn't mean I still can't learn to code. But I can't do everything. So you are there, you have a phone. You guys subscribe, peradventure, maybe you are even using my dear Airtel. And then you get all those bundles. You are just watching movies and videos only. For crying out loud, learn to... My daughter, my second daughter, same one, knows how to make hair. She plates different design. How did she learn? She is 6 going to 7 now on YouTube videos. And my wife was telling me, I said, look, if that's what she wants to do, she has my full support. Open multi-saloons for her, and people can book online for whatever they want to do, and then she can be an Uber for hairstylist. Everything people just simply book online, and then she sends it to them, and she's coordinating all of that. My wife was just like, yeah. Before COVID started, she was saying, oh, we don't treat our patients, you don't clock a patient in absentia, that they need to be in front of you. When COVID started, I had to see a specialist myself. We were talking over the screen. She was beside me. I gave her that nudge. But you don't clash. She said, leave me alone. I'm like, the world has changed. Don't be technologically challenged. It's not only for you to be physically challenged. People are now technologically challenged. You need to enable yourself there. It's not all coding. It's not all programming. It's not all graphic design. But how to leverage these things to better yourself. That's it.
Yeah, so what I was going to say before, who first hijacked me? No, it was GT. Let me go back to the keynote speech. Remember the 5 individuals he brought out to us? It started from a global perspective to Africa, to the financial services sector, to the organization, and the role of the individual. Only one thing will collapse the spaces between the 5, and that's technology. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. So someone is asking, how do you now become tech savvy, right? I don't like it. It starts from your phone. You know, apparently, I'm sure it was a conversation with the Holy Spirit on Thursday. I was like, what are we going to really talk about today? You know, this kind of stuff. Technology was one of it. And I was like, so how do you actually learn technology? And the question that came to my heart, I was driving, was, do you know all the functionalities of your phone? Do you know all the functionalities? That's where to start from. Apart from WhatsApp and YouTube and all that. So have you ever sat down and you're just curious? How does this work? So that curiosity is all you need. Just be curious. We went for an event and this kind of screen was there. There was no projector projecting on the screen. And I was like, okay, so I need to go and find out how this works. That's the curiosity. And you will be so shocked. Everything you want to know is on the internet. It's on the internet. So just ask Google, ask Siri. They have all the information. You will get it.
Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. And thank you, everyone. I know we couldn't get all the questions, but I know everyone, all the panelists have addressed your question in one way or the other. But again, you can always reach out to anyone on the panel via LinkedIn. And they're still going to be around to the end of the program. I'm sure you can walk up to them. There are no airs around them. I know that for sure. So just walk up to them, and they'll be more than happy to address your question. Thank you very much, panelists. It's been amazing doing this with you. Thank you very, very much.
Amazing. Please join your hands together. Woo! I'm so sorry, sirs, Maz. We'd like to take pictures quickly. If you're ready, please let me come out. I guess you learned a lot. I guess you have your notes, whether on your phone or physically on your writing materials. I'm sure they are full already. I'm sure you're already thinking of new ways to conquer. Please, sir, Pastor, sir, Fumi, please, can you come up? Please, you join us. So our esteemed guest, our parish pastor, the youth president, our youth pastor, and the ESCO. Tosin, where are you? Where's Tosin? Oh, yes, yes. Anywhere, sir.
Sorry, I just want to break something of the protocol, and I want to say something in front of everyone. I just want to thank God for Brother Agbade. I need to say it. 20-something years ago, he was my first leader. He was the first leader I ever had. I don't even know what he was then. Is he choir? I don't know what we were doing in the teens church. But he was the first person that showed me leadership, caring leadership. I remember you even used to come to our house to teach us math.
Yeah, we've gone far back. He would lead the whole choir, the team, teens, church, everyone. And I want to say a very big thank you in front of the whole church, because you see, the thing with when you are young is that you can get into a lot of trouble. Church is like one of those places that shields you. They create, activities. Today you are singing, tomorrow you are dancing, tomorrow you are acting drama. And when you have these leaders that keep going after you and keep building God in you, today I can say my foundation is because of this church and it's because of this man. And I just want to say thank God. Thank you to Maranatha Chapel. Well, it's not Maranatha Church. You were chapel then. And thank you to Brother Bade.
Thank you so much, sirs. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you. Thank you so much. Made our day. Please let's put our hands together. That was mind-blowing. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I took a lot of notes, even though I kept working. I know my head is full, my spirit is full, I'm charged up. One of the guests actually said that you should be curious. We used to hear a long time ago that curiosity kills the cat. That was before Jesus. Be curious, right? So coming up next, so you see that we don't even use paper in our church anymore. We use phones to check our agenda. So coming up next, we have a team from Talent QL. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they're going to be talking to us about starting a career in tech. Very, very, very nice following our conversation. And I want those of us, or everyone actually, who came for the interview or for the job fair to please stick around. And after this next session, the job fair will be open to everyone, and you could go around. There are lovely companies around waiting for you. Thank you. So please, the team from Talent QL, are you ready? Please let's put our hands together for them.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so my name is Fokwe Foluwa Daniel Makono. I work with Talent QL as the head people and culture. We are here to talk about an interesting topic, and I'm actually representing my CEO and co-founder, Adebayo Yusuf. And if anybody has heard that name before, I'm sure some people have heard about TechPoint. So he was the co-founder of TechPoint before he stepped down and started Talent QL. And Adebayo Yusuf's story is an inspiring story, a life that has been changed by tech. He's not here now, but we'd just like to share his story, and we hope that that story will inspire a lot of people to take the necessary step for their lives to also change. Adebayo Yusuf started as an SSCE holder. He was a security guard as far back as about more than 7 years ago, and he was in a gathering like this when he stumbled on the opportunity in tech. When he was sharing the story with us at the office, he said that they were not talking to him. It was just more like he eavesdropped. But from that day onward, he took the decision to go search about what this tech is all about. And I can tell you that the SSCE graduate, the SSCE holder as at then, is now a proud owner of 2 companies, that's TechPoint and Talent QL. And we are here to share that good news in quotes to everybody that intends to listen.
Okay, so I want to say a big thank you to the panelists, and they are my senior colleague, and I see it as a privilege standing in front of them and just also sharing. Thank you very much. So, the panelists had talked so much about tech, about how the whole ecosystem, not just in Nigeria but globally, has changed, and the future is now upon us. The thing is, I think COVID just made it faster. We've been hearing a lot about the future of work, and I want to say to you that the future is here. It's just for us to now take it. And if we just work, sometimes we would ask a lot of questions. Why the fuss about tech? And I can tell you for free that everybody wants their lives to be better. The reason why we want to work is most of the time to make sure, yes, we are fulfilling a purpose, but at the same time, that we live a good life. We have a good quality of life. And I can say that venturing into tech will give you that opportunity because, one, it has a low entry barrier. Anybody can start their journey into tech. Our CEO, Adebayo, Yusuf, started his journey into tech as someone that just owned SSC. And the problem we are trying to solve with Talent QL is a tech talent company that wants opportunities to be easily accessible to people, to talent. So opportunities are diverse in the tech space, and we want everybody to be a part of it. And that is why we launched the product, Alt School. And my colleague here, Growth and Partnership Executive, will be talking so much about Alt School. But I want to tell you that for tech, there is low entry barrier. For tech, tech is the in-demand skills. I'm sure that you've heard that tech is the new oil. The truth is, there was this time in Nigeria that everybody wanted to enter into banking. But I can tell you that some people enter into banking and they can't really boast of a great career. I can tell you that in tech, you don't have to just be a programmer. You don't just have to be someone that codes. You can be a UI UX designer. You can be a business analyst. You can be a product manager. There are a lot of opportunities, and tech is not going anywhere soon. And a lot of evolution in the whole world, globally, is as a result of tech. Little wonder that nowadays you see a lot of people going for photo shoot. I think there is a reason for it if you are curious. Because everybody has a smartphone, everybody has internet, and they just want to show the world of their awesomeness. So I'm trying to say that we are solving a real problem of employability with tech. You can start your tech journey even as an SSC holder. You can switch careers. So you probably are in a career that you're not really enjoying and you just want a difference. Tech is open for you to try. And I will allow my colleague to talk so much about what Alt School is trying to solve in the area of employability. Thank you.
Thank you, my madam. This is my madam. She's my HR. Yeah, so my name is Dolapo, and I lead growth and partnerships at Talent QL. I talk really fast, so I'm going to try and breathe and calm down. Okay, so for Alt School Africa, like she said, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it easy for people to jumpstart their careers in tech. I mean, I am a lawyer actually, so that's my background, and I used to practice. But I've always told my mom, Mommy Dolapo, I have to be in tech. I mean, right from like university days. So interestingly, at the point I used to go for Tech Point events, I didn't even know that the founder of Tech Point event or Tech Point Africa used to be a security guard. Like he wasn't even a graduate. He didn't even go to a university. He probably even never thought about going. And then he used to be a bricklayer alongside as well. So there was no, I mean, imagine me telling my mom that I now work for someone that is a security guard, right? And as a graduate. But that's what tech does. I mean, it gives you the opportunity. So for Alt School is a program that, that is going to change the world. Like my boss would say, let's make magic, let's create the future. Let's do what people are scared to do, and which is what we're trying to do with Alt School. So jumpstarting your career in tech with Alt School, it's a 1-year program. It's a diploma degree program. So the idea is that people learn tech online, they get certificates here and there, but then with Alt School, you get an actual diploma with which you can have credits to do any other thing you want to do. Say you want to pursue a BSc, eventually, if that's your choice, you know. And then, so with Old School, the first 9 months, everything is virtual actually. So the first 9 months, which is the training, is virtual. But then there will be peer-to-peer learning. Say, this is Bagada, and then say you have about 20 people who live around the same area, and then they are all Old School students. We'd expect them to meet up once in a while. I mean, in places that we've suggested, of course. So we'll be working with some amazing tech hubs all around Nigeria and all around Africa. So then after the first 9 months, then we have the 3 months. And I believe that's the internship period. It's a compulsory internship. So, you know how you go to the regular universities or the regular polytechnic schools, and then they tell you that you have to go for your IT placement and you have to go find it yourself. So we are saying, oh, after the first 9 months, the automatic 3 months internship period is there for you. And then the most beautiful part is that Old School is free. I mean, it is free until you are hired. And then when you're hired, that's when we expect you to start to pay back your tuition. And the tuition is like about $500. And that's like, it's like roughly about 300,000 right now. And that's like you pay per installment. And then that's when you are hired. So imagine us banking the tuition on you getting hired. That means we know you will get hired by the grace of God, of course. I mean, please pray. And then we know that you will get hired. So that's that about the 3 months internship. So the internship will be interning with like companies that currently are clients, and then other companies who have shown interest. We have companies reaching out from the UK, from the US, and then saying, oh, they want to build their junior pipeline. The demand is there for tech talent, but the supply is very low, and this is actually very sad. And then with our population in Nigeria, with our youth population, you would ordinarily expect that. I mean, we can supply the whole world. The whole world doesn't need to go to India anymore. They should come to Nigeria, they should come to Africa. And they are gravitating towards us. They are coming here. And then, okay, so to get into Old School, what do you need? Basically, it's a 10,000 basic fee. It's benched at 10,000 naira, but in dollars it's $20. And then for everyone here, you'll be paying 10,000, right? And because we also know that not everyone will be able to afford the 10,000, especially the people we need them to join this. So what we are doing is we are reaching out to sponsors, and we've been getting sponsors. I mean, so if you're here, if you want to sponsor anyone, please feel free. Our stand is right at the back. So we'll be getting sponsors, and as a result, we are giving out 5 sponsors, 5 sponsorship slots here. But then, that was the intention. But when I came here, and then I came in late actually, and then when I came, and then I heard how engaged everyone was, the kind of questions they were asking, I was like, my madam HR was like, we cannot do just 5. And then Mr. Bade, right? Yes, sir, thank you. I was like, I'm going to surprise him when I get to the stage. So we're going to be doing 10, and then Mr. Bade will undo, and the other organizers will undo, I will be giving it out. So that's 10 slots. We're hoping that with more sponsorship, we'll be able to give out more, definitely. But then feel free to reach out to us at the backstage there, and then we'll answer your questions. But then the most interesting part is, you do not have to have had a career in tech. You do not need to know how to code. I mean, I can code. I'm lucky to be in the business angle or the business side of tech. I started as a client executive at Talent Kirel, and then to the glory of God, I got promoted thanks to management and the rest. And then so now I lead growth and partnerships. And then even my legal background has come to play. So whatever it is you have studied, hope I'm not too fast. Am I too fast? Dr. Ituna, am I too fast? Thank you. Okay, so you really do not need any background in tech. It's in fact an absolute beginner course. It's an absolute beginner program. We're partnering with MCIU, that's Michael and Cecilia Hebrew University. So they're the ones issuing the diploma through us. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic journey. And then I encourage everyone to at least try to find out an information or two, or try to ask us questions about it, and we would really help. Is there anything I've missed out? Oh, website, www.oldschoolafrica.com. Let me take it again. I think this is my favorite part. oldschoolafrica.com. www.oldschoolafrica.com. You might have come across us on Twitter. There was a tweet that went viral, and people saying, no, they want to sponsor ladies to Old School, and then the men are like, they want to sponsor men as well. So I mean, it's been an inspiring journey so far, and I mean, it will be really good to see everyone try to sign up. I mean, if you are an accountant, so it's very flexible. I mean, even the internship part is flexible, right? So you can always sign up and then learn. I mean, you definitely write an assessment, of course. When you sign up, we have your email address, then we send you your home study kit that helps you prepare for the assessment. So the first assessment is in January. So we encourage everybody to register fast, as quick as you can. And if there are sponsorship slots, who knows, someone here might say, oh, they want to sponsor 100, and then we'll definitely let you know. I'm not saying they've said, though. I can see my colleague from Kenya. She's saying faith. But I can see my colleague from Kenya there clapping, saying yes. Okay, so that's the beauty of tech, right? She used to work with us remotely from Kenya. We're a Nigerian company. We have colleagues in Canada as well. We have colleagues in America that work with us as a Nigerian company, but from all over. I mean, tech is beautiful. That's all I can say. Thank you, everyone.
Please, let's put our hands together for them. Thank you so much. Yes, you can. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Brilliant ladies, thank you so much. Please, let's put our hands together for them again. Woo! What a loaded Saturday. So MC News, if you're ready, we'll just shoot. If you're ready. Please don't forget that after this, we're going straight into the job fair, and it's for everyone. Not come look. Don't just listen and don't do anything, right? So get up from your seat, connect with people, go to the back. We have this booths where employers are waiting for you. Companies, organizations are waiting for you. At least go and get information. You might decide tomorrow, next tomorrow, to do something with it. Praise the Lord. I'm just looking at all my learnings. I wrote here that go to the table with value. Don't be regular. Now there's tech. Everybody tech. What am I doing? I would like to go to the back and learn more as well, even though I like it, but I want to learn more. If MC News is ready, because we may need to stand now, can I just get a signal? Okay, I'll wait for you if you would get me that signal, please. Thank you. So let me just keep sharing in the next 30 seconds some of the things I wrote. So, one of the panelists said, success is not stagnant. Another one says, always rise up to the occasion. Always be an occasion. Always be ready. I think they're getting ready. I can see. My apologies, please. My apologies. I just want you to see our tech kind of news. So I also wrote down here as well that it's good to have courageous conversations, but more importantly, learn to take feedback. So you want to, I'm not teaching, please. So you want to, you're having an issue, you want to trash it, and you go ahead, even if it's your boss, you have that courageous conversation. But also learn to take feedbacks when even your juniors tell you or have courageous conversations with you. Learn to take the feedbacks and take the learnings from it. Praise the Lord. Do not sideline the place of your managers or your superiors in the place of work. These are some of the few things I learned. MC News coming up. Great. Please sit back and enjoy. Thank you.
Wow, it has been so informative and enlightening. From every one of us present, we say a huge thank you to every member of the panelists. We are super grateful. This is the Maranatha Church News. My name is Joke Oyefesobi, and here are today's announcements. We are glad to have every one of you present. We say thank you. If you do not belong to any Bible-believing church yet, we hope you join our family of love. God bless you. We hold 2 services here in Maranatha Church on Sundays. The Fresh Dew service runs from 7:45 a.m. to 9:05 a.m. and the latter-rain service runs from 9:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. All services are available on our online platforms. We have the Sunday school class every Sunday. Sunday school is immediately after the first service. Tomorrow's topic is the trials of faith. Please join us. Our weekly services as a church are as follows. On Mondays, we have Dew of Favor service starting from 5:45 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. The service will be streamed on our MixLR, Facebook, free conference call, and Zoom platforms. On Tuesday, we have the Victory Hour service for all sisters, both single and married. Time is 11 a.m. to 12 noon, and the venue is New Things Church. It will also be streamed on our MixLR platform. Join us for Diggy Deep service on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Here, we study the Word of God, and we are taught specific topic per time. It is also to ask questions on any Bible principle we need clarity on. Faith Clinic service holds every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. After being empowered with the information and knowledge for the next level in our careers, tomorrow we'll be receiving the grace for the race. There is going to be an anointing service for grace upon our careers during the Fresh Dew service tomorrow. Come one, come all. The Lord will be waiting for us. Those were the announcements for today. My name is Joke Oyefesobi, and I'm saying that our career is taking the next level after today in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hallelujah. So please, we can now move towards the organizations who have their booths at the back, and feel free to ask questions, connect, and all of that. Thank you. Please, let's get going. Thanks. Can I please advise that you take your personal belongings? I know this is a church. Do not tempt us. Yeah. Please take your purse, your bag, your phone along with you, and you're responsible for your items.
Hi, everyone. So we have 8 different organizations present. We have services. We have 8 organizations present. We have Medbury Medical Services, Resource Intermediaries, Alt School, Kudi, MedPlus, Global Accelerates, Reliance HMO, and Delight. You could visit any of these booths, inquire about the company, submit your CVs, and you can wait for their interviews if you have the time. So if there are too many people in a particular booth, you could just visit other booths. And please be patient.